My family pranked me, and now I'm through with them.
No jokes.
I, 27 female, have always had a complicated relationship with my family. They've always been the type of people who think any joke is fine as long as someone laughs, no matter who gets hurt. Over the years, I've tried to brush it off and not let it bother me too much. But this time, they crossed the line, and I can't ignore it. By the way, this comes from Spiritual Ad 50, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I relate a lot.
Someone pranking you?
No, I relate a lot to trying to get a laugh out of someone.
Yeah, I know.
But not at someone's cost.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, never at anyone's cost.
That didn't hurt you, though.
It hurt my pride.
So recently, I achieved something big in my life. I bought my first home after saving for years. Congrats.
Nice.
It's something I worked incredibly hard for, sacrificing vacations, nights out, and basically anything extra to make it happen.
The prank is that they like found a random house, sold it to her, quote unquote. And then she's like, yeah, I bought my first home. And then they're like, pranked. That was fake. We stole your money and you don't have a house. And she's like, that's a terrible thing you've done.
It's
They're
just
like,
a prank, bro.
they're like, it's so funny. Everyone's laughing.
It's like the opposite of the bus when they were like, move that bus.
Yeah. Move that bus. There's nothing there.
I was beyond proud of myself and excited to finally have a place to call my own. Naturally, I wanted to share this milestone with my family, even though our relationship has always been rocky. A few weeks ago, we had a family dinner to celebrate my new home. Everything seemed fine at first. They congratulated me, asked about the house, and seemed genuinely happy for me. But halfway through the night, my brother, 30 male, and sister, 25 female, handed me an envelope.
Dude, is I right? Am I going to be right? No.
They said it was a surprise to help me with my home.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm lost, but I'm going to keep going. I opened it, and inside was what looked like a legal notice stating my house purchase has been canceled because of clerical error and that it was now being sold to someone else. It even had an official-looking letterhead, my name, and details about the house.
Wait, so the prank is just the opposite of what I said the prank was going to be. They just said that you don't have a house.
The bank's taking back the house. None of your checks cleared.
Also, how did they approach that? They said, we have something for you to help with the house. Is that how they approached that?
So this is what happened next. I was in complete shock. Everyone around the table started laughing, and my brother yelled, "Gotcha!" Turns out they had a fake letter and thought it would be hilarious to see my reaction. I burst into tears, which only made them laugh harder. They even recorded the whole thing on their phones and posted it on social media.
What?
Here's my thought. One, that was funny.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I would have done that, and I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, it's good." Two, once you start crying,
yeah,
joke's
done.
over.
Joke's over. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I thought you would like it.
It's not like she's sobbing. Oh, like that's insane.
Given the context that I have, if this was the only prank they've ever done, funny. But since they always try to get at OP,
the thing is that you know that they have a prank channel on YouTube where they do this all the time. Like if they're posting this on social media, they absolutely have a prank channel, and it's like the worst thing that you've ever seen.
Oh, dude.
So, okay, I will. The only thing I'm going to give, not them per se, but I will critique about UOP is why did you think your family had access? Like, wouldn't it have gone to you?
How did they get a hold of this?
Yeah, like I would have if I knew that they were, pranksters, and I can't imagine it was a very good recreation. Like, why did you immediately believe that your family had somehow gotten a hold of a bank statement that just said, clerical error, you don't have the house?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, they sent it to us rather than you.
Yeah. I feel like your family pranks you because you're really gullible. Not that they're right for it, but I think you're an easy target, OP, and they know that.
You're gullible and a little sensitive, so that's why you just keep
you're
crying.
an easy target for them.
Oh, dang. My little brother's kind of like this.
Yeah.
He'll get upset pretty easily. Just what it is. Okay. When I finally managed to speak, I told them how cruel this was. Buying this house is the biggest thing I've ever done, and they turned it into a joke at my expense. Their response? You're so sensitive. It was just a prank. Lighten up.
Also, did they post that on social media immediately? Were they like, "Oh, this is going on YouTube"? Like, how did you know?
Yeah.
Or did you
this
find it
probably-
later? You were
yeah,
like,
probably later. Yeah. I left the dinner early, completely heartbroken. At your own house?
That's a good.
I hate that we're slamming on OP, but dude, you're making it easy.
Like, yeah, your family is mean and like kind of bullying you.
I have some more thoughts on this, but I'll tell it later. A few days later, I decided I'd had enough. This wasn't the first time they pulled a prank like this. Over the years, they've humiliated me countless times, once ruining a job interview outfit by accidentally spilling coffee on it, another time pretending to lose my dog just to see me panic.
Okay, see those ones are not cool. Those ones are much worse. Honestly, those ones are much worse than this one because this one I feel like is so like see-through.
Yeah, but this is the straw.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the
She's
camel
like, I can't take it anymore.
I cut off all contact. I didn't make a scene. I just stopped responding to messages, blocked them on social media, and declined invites to family events. Now I'm getting guilt-tripping messages from extended family saying I'm being selfish and tearing the family apart. My mom even left me a voicemail crying about how much she misses me and begging me to come back. But I can't bring myself to forgive them. This prank felt like the final straw, and I don't see how I can trust them again. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for cutting off my family over this prank? Like Sophia said, not the worst one, but if the dynamic in the family is always you're the butt of the joke.
It's not fun. It's not fun. Yeah, like it feels like if this were just that joke alone, I'd be like, well, cutting your family off is pretty unreasonable. But
Yeah.
it seems like it's been years and years of this kind of behavior, and that's not fun to experience.
So it makes sense to set a boundary. Some people go no contact and then over time.
Yeah,
they start to
maybe
come
it's
back.
like they realize that, they shouldn't treat you like this, and then
Yeah.
you can kind of just go to limiting contact instead
Yeah.
of you can always change it.
Yeah, having a serious conversation with people
Yeah.
will be good.
Say like, this is what happens when you treat me like this.
Yeah.
I will consider contact, but there needs to be a whole lot of changes.
Gotta be another butt around here because I can't be the only one. Let's stop making fun of brother.
Yeah.
Top comment. Best comment is 15 says, you're rightfully upset because it wasn't a prank. It was bullying. It was just a joke. BS is something every bully does to justify humiliating people. Okay, this was a humiliation tactic.
Yeah.
They thought it would be fun to upset you on your big night and then take videos of it and post it on social media, and your mom is crying that she misses you? No, she had an opportunity there to rip them a new one about their behavior and treating you with kindness and respect. And she thought it would be better to go along with the prank. You deserve much better than this. I'm glad you finally decided to call an end to their bullying. Don't let them in or extend any family members pressure you into doing anything you don't want to do. I'm sorry that they couldn't just let you be happy for your achievement. Congrats on the new home. We just got an update from OP.
I think that the family's going to try a lot harder to get back into her life. Yeah. I feel like this might end with her kind of reconciling with some family members, and then we'll find out that like some family members suck more than others. I feel like that's where we're headed. But just hold your boundaries strong.
Yeah.
That's kind of the main thing. Whether you're, gonna go back into or like have contact with them or not, just make sure you know what your boundaries are. They know what your boundaries are, and then you go for it.
Step by step right there.
Yep.
Update. Thank you all for the advice and support. I want to provide an update because things have escalated in ways I never expected.
Oh no.
After I went no contact with my family, I thought they'd eventually accept my decision and move on. But that hasn't been the case.
They're like, now we're pranking her for real. Watch out.
We'll see how your car works without brakes.
Yeah, literally. They're like, oh, you thought that was bad? Now that you're no contact with us, we got nothing protecting you.
Whatever protected her in the first place, then. That's the case.
Some familial bond.
For the past few weeks, my brother and sister have been trying to get me to see the funny side of their prank. They've shown up at my house uninvited multiple times, banging on the door and demanding to talk to me.
They're like, it was funny. I was funny.
At first, I ignored them, but it became clear they weren't going to stop. One evening, I caught them standing outside my house with their phones out, recording themselves while yelling things like, she can't take a joke, and let's see how long she can hide.
Why?
It felt more like pesterment than an attempt to reconcile.
I think that they're doing all of this for their YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah, like OP is their main source of content,
Oh.
and they need their star back.
Oh, shoot. How else are we going to keep this thing going without her?
They make so much money from OP,
Dude.
and now she's gone, and all of the commenters are like, "Wait, where'd OP go? What happened with OP?" They're like, "We can't let them know that we badgered her until she cut contact."
The final straw came when I discovered my car had been egged overnight,
They can't stop.
and my security camera caught my brother and sister doing it. I confronted them through text, telling them they crossed the line and needed to stop. Their response: "You're so dramatic. You're going to laugh about this one day."
Dude, I think you need to go full. You have two options: police or full force attack them back. You start leaving, I don't know, like Nair in the shampoo bottles.
There we go.
Yeah, you TP the house.
Honestly, you just get a couple of boys and give them some money.
Yeah, and you say,
have at it."
"Hey, I got a job. Hey, you kid, I got a job for you.
There we go.
Here's an address. Go wild."
Do things I never thought about doing.
Yeah, I trust you, kids.
At this point, I realized I couldn't handle this on my own. I went to the police and filed a report.
That's the boring option.
She went with the option number 1 and filed a report for pesterment. They took my statement, reviewed the footage from my security camera, and agreed that this behavior was unacceptable. My siblings were contacted and warned to stay away from me. Their reaction? More mocking responses and calling me a snitch and accusing me of tearing the family apart. Some of my extended family members are siding with them, saying I should have just talked it out instead of involving the police. But others, especially those who have seen the footage, are horrified and fully support my decision.
Well, yeah, the reasonable people in your family. Exactly what I said. I was like, some people are going to prove that they're better than you thought, and some people, like your brother and sister, are going to prove that they're a whole lot worse.
Yeah, this feel a mix of relief and sadness. It's hard to accept that my own family treat me this way, but I also feel safer knowing I've taken steps to protect myself. I'm focusing on building a new life in my home and surrounding myself with people who respect and support me.
Nice.
All right, and we sadly have another update.
Oh no,
From OP.
No, OP. I hope it ends with you. I don't know, like moving. Well, no, you just bought your house. You can't move.
She can't
You're
move.
stuck
She's
here.
stuck.
Oh.
She's worked so hard.
Yeah, just get one of those really intense security systems that like there's like a tripwire and everything,
Oh
and
my
there's like
gosh.
dogs. Yeah, yeah, and it's like you have just crossed the trip. It's like, and the police are called every time you trip the tripwire.
Dang. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought there'd be like a trap waiting for him. Like,
Oh no.
Like Dennis the Menace the house. Or
Oh, like Home
Alone it.
Alone. Yeah. Yeah, you could Home Alone your house, I guess, if you want to.
Dude, some of those are cruel.
I mean, a lot of the Home Alone traps are pretty intense.
You could die.
I'm surprised that the burglars
goons.
didn't. Yeah.
Day 2. Nearly 3 months later. I know I haven't updated in a while. And honestly, it's because dealing with all of this has been exhausting. Even after filing the police report, my brother and sister wouldn't let up. I wanted to believe they'd eventually get bored and move on. But instead, they doubled down.
Oh.
The mocking messages didn't stop. They even bragged about the warning they received, treating it like a joke. Because everything's a joke.
Yeah, they're posting on their channel. The police just freaking gave me a warning. Oh, like I'm gonna listen to that.
My extended family was still split. Some still told me I was overreacting, while others admitted they were disturbed by my siblings' behavior. Then things escalated. My security cameras caught them trespassing on my property again, this time leaving a mess of toilet paper and shaving cream all over my driveway. That was the final straw. I went back to the police and provided the new footage, showing that they had ignored the warning. This time, I filed for a restraining order.
I feel like it's come to that.
Hey.
They can't stop bothering you.
That's what you got to do something.
Yeah.
I had more than enough evidence to prove that their behavior was escalating. And after presenting everything, security footage, text messages, and police reports to the judge, they granted it. They were legally ordered to stay away from me, my home, and my workplace.
Heck yeah. There we go. Sucks that I had to come to that, but
But how did they respond?
Oh, not well.
Of course, they acted like it was a joke. But then they realized I wasn't playing their game anymore. The pestiment had finally stopped. The restraining order forced them to keep their distance. And for the first time in a long time, I felt safe.
Sensing a butt.
But you can listen to us anytime you want on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. And we have all the buts, ands, and ifs, and all these stories that you could ever wish for.
So true. I'm a little bit worried that they are not going to listen to this. Do restraining orders last forever?
6 months to 5 years.
Okay, so no. So are they just going to wait?
Yeah, this can be increased or decreased at the dissertation of the court.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I guess it's, hey, we're going to give 2-year restraining order.
Yeah. So they might come back around in 2 years or something. So just keep an eye on them, and hopefully they listen to the law if they're not going to listen to you.
Some family members still don't understand why I had to take things this far, but I don't need their approval. I did what I had to protect myself. Also, a Google slide goes a long way.
Yeah, you just show all the evidence of what your sister and brother have been doing, and you just send it to everyone.
Yeah.
You say, hey, anyone who thinks that, this is not serious, here you go.
My home is now a place of peace, not anxiety. My phone is quiet. My life is my own again. To anyone dealing with toxic family members who refuse to respect your boundaries, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. You are not obligated to tolerate mistreatment just because it comes from family. Your safety and well-being come first. And if they want to call me a snitch for defending myself, so be it. I'd rather be a snitch than a doormat. Stay strong.
Be strong.
That's it. Wow.
There you go. Okay, well, Opie, I'm proud of you.
Me too.
You couldn't, it was too much. They kept pushing you. So you stood up for yourself, and now half your family at least is realizing that, that's not okay, and how you were treated was not okay.
Yeah, not at all, dude. I thought the joke was all right.
Yeah, well, the first joke, I was like, well, it's like a bad joke, but it's not so serious. But coupled with everything else,
over the line.
Yeah.
Get a hint. If you're going to pull a joke, make sure it's funny.
Come on. Make sure everyone's, I don't know, just get everyone in on it.
Seeing that story, got another one coming for you.
My narcissistic mother tried to hijack my wedding, so I uninvited her.
It's not her wedding.
Not yours.
Come on.
Get out of here. I, 35 female, have never had a close relationship with my mother. For as long as I can remember, there has always been an invisible wall between us. I've spent years thinking it was just my imagination, but now that I have kids of my own, I can say with confidence that the invisible wall was and still is real. By the way, this comes from Estrella0889 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I've done a lot of research and believe that my mother has something called narcissistic personality disorder. The book, You're Not Crazy, It's Your Mother, could have easily been written about her. There's a lot in that book that is practically word for word things I have gone through with my mom. While we have never been close, the crazy crap didn't start happening until my parents divorced. My mom got it in her head that I prefer my bio dad over her, and things were never the same.
I know he's like, now I do.
Yeah, you just made it
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. Especially after she remarried. Suddenly, the only thing that mattered was her own reputation as a family. We had to be perfect, and that meant only associating with people she deemed worthy. None of my friends made the cut, so I had to keep our friendship a secret and stop inviting people over for my birthday. Oh my gosh.
Damn.
Things got their absolute worst when my older brother saw me talking to a boy who had a pretty strong reputation of being one of the weirdest kids to go to our school.
But he was just the freaking coolest kid.
I bet so.
You're just freaking jealous.
Let's call this boy Matt. Matt was from the West Coast and stood out like a sore thumb in our tiny Midwestern town. Just get him.
Just imagining at least like a regular California kid, and the Midwestern people are like,
everyone's like,
who's this Californian kid? What's he doing here?
He had long, fluffy blonde hair and was super pale. Everyone thought he was goth or something because he liked to wear all black clothes and boots and wore a black trench coat. Turns out the coat was his dad's navy trench coat, so it has high sentimental value.
Okay.
He's just misunderstood.
You just don't get him.
Just don't get him. Come on, guys. My brother didn't like that I was talking to Matt, so he told my parents and they flipped out.
So strange.
So strange. They immediately started accusing me of having a crush on Matt and told me I was not allowed to talk to him anymore. I was 14 and in middle school.
What a weird thing to like, what a weird interaction to have with your parents. They're like, you have a crush on him.
Oh, yeah.
Get out.
She
Like,
starts
what?
playing like, Romeo, take. Like, just listen to some Taylor Swift and you're good, dude. I
You're
swear.
fine. This is star-crossed.
Yeah.
It's so much more interesting now.
Right. Me being a very honest kid, I told Matt my parents said I couldn't be his friend anymore, and that's when he said something I'll never forget. He said, "That's okay. You're still my friend, and they can't take that away." Oh.
Damn. That's so sweet.
That's so sweet. Wow. I think that's when I developed the crush. Wow.
Self-fulfilling
all
prophecies.
around. Oh my goodness. For the next 3 years, my family made my life heck just for talking to Matt. Mom would accuse me of being in love with him, was angry and disgusted when he gave me a charm locket for my birthday.
So cute.
So cute. And called me names and ranted on the way to school about how stupid I was for falling for his tricks. Meanwhile, Matt and I realized we liked each other romantically, but put off dating until I could figure out how to sort things with my family. By the end of our sophomore year in high school, I'd finally made up my mind. If it had to be my family or Matt, I'd choose Matt.
Oh, they literally pushed her into his arms.
Yeah, like that's on you, you guys.
You were like, you love him. And she was like,
She's
no. Well,
You're
I
onto
guess.
something.
I think you Pavloved me.
Right. Things did not get better between me and my family. By the end of the second year of college, my mom had become physically abusive towards me. So Matt got an apartment and invited me to move in with him. Oh my goodness.
Matt is like the hero of the
Yeah,
story.
he's so sweet. My stepdad accused us of playing house and believed that Matt would never propose. He was so effing cool when he looked my stepdad dead in the eyes and said, "Actually, I've already been saving up for a ring. I'm almost there." Ooh,
Damn,
get him, Matt.
Who
Yeah.
is this man?
Amazing. 10 months later, Matt proposed.
This literally is the Taylor Swift song.
It really is. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Just play this over.
Yeah,
like, us
at
telling
your
the
wedding.
story. Yeah, at the wedding. Dude. So good. Now, here's the content you've been waiting for. I really wanted my mom to be excited and happy for me. After all, at this point in time, I still believed my parents were just trying to look out for me and were just worried I would make reckless decisions out of love. My stepdad had been diagnosed with prostate cancer the year before, and the high medical bills was a concern, so I reassured my mom that Matt and I would cover the wedding expenses ourselves and that all she needed to do was show up. Remember this, it's important later. Matt and I just wanted our families to be able to celebrate our big day stress-free. Is that so hard to ask for?
That's just not that hard.
Please. I thought my mom and I could bond over the wedding planning, but she was very cold and distant. She would hardly respond to any texts I sent her, and her only response to anything I said was a very flat, "Okay." Looking back, I should have immediately realized something was wrong when she harshly criticized our choice on our wedding date. It was 2 weeks before her wedding anniversary. Once the date was set, Mom began asking me what my plan was for losing weight before the wedding. Hello.
My plan is mind your own business.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Get out of here. She wanted me to lose 30 pounds. That is so much. That's so much.
She wants you to lose a dog.
Yeah.
That's what?
Like,
in weeks?
Come on.
That's insane.
Come on.
That's crazy.
And it's not even your wedding.
It's not even your wedding.
not even
And also,
you.
shut up.
It's not even your
because
body.
She looks beautiful.
Exactly. She would order bulk packs of Slim Fast and send them to my house or give them to me whenever I visited. She expected me to stop
Ew.
eating lunch completely or replace lunch with a single can of Slim Fast.
Why? I don't
on.
understand. Like, I hate this. I hate this
is
so much.
so
Like, literally
frustrating.
just wants her to starve
Yeah.
so that she can look a certain way at her
And lose
wedding.
30 pounds, which like it doesn't like really work that way.
No, that's
yeah.
just very unhealthy.
Yeah. She demanded to know how much weight I'd lost per week and would brag about how much weight she was losing.
This is so sad.
So sad. I'd find out years later that I have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's, which makes weight loss nearly impossible without medication. So at the time of my wedding, losing weight was literally impossible for me, and my mom shamed me for being fat. 6 months before the wedding, I got a call from mom that made my heart drop. After months of cold responses or just dead silence, mom suddenly called to text me that she had set up the entire wedding, venue, staff, and all without me, and that all I needed to do was show up. Ooh. That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
She's like, it's happening at 3 today. Be there.
Right. Like, I already have your dress. It's 3 sizes too small for you.
It's really, really small.
Yeah.
It's actually one of those little Polly Pocket dresses.
Right. And you should have lost the weight to fit into it.
Sorry. It's your fault.
Oh my gosh.
Don't show up, obviously. If that wasn't obvious, don't go to this wedding.
Yeah. In fact, word for word, she like repeated, all you need to do is show up.
Nope. Oh, don't do that.
Dude. The reason she called was not to tell me this, but to ask if I'd picked out my wedding dress already and let me know where I would be storing it on the big day. Shocked doesn't even cover it. My brain completely shut down on me. When I told Matt, he was livid and reminded me that this was our day and not hers, and he didn't want anything she had set up. He ultimately left it up to me to decide. He knew how desperately I wanted to keep the peace. But Matt was very honest about how he felt, and he let me know that he would be very hurt if we caved to my mom on this. I called my mom back and let her know that she needed to tell everyone she had booked that there was a misunderstanding and that we would not be needing their services. When she asked me why, I told her that Matt and I had already said we'd be taking care of the wedding ourselves and that the only thing she needed to do was show up. She said, "Fine," and hung up. I felt bad for making my mom cancel the wedding she'd set up. I know, I still wanted to believe that my mom just wanted to be helpful. I can't believe it took me 12 years to realize she was throwing it back in my face that I told her she just needed to show up. I thought we could patch things up by going dress shopping together.
No.
Big mistake.
No, we don't. Okay. If you have someone in your life who actively makes you feel bad about your body,
yes,
and like constantly demeans you,
yes,
don't take them to one of the most important,
yes,
like clothing, dress,
like shopping spree
in a lot of people in a lot of like women's lives. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
For your own sake, don't do that.
Right.
If they make you feel bad, don't bring them.
Right. When we went dress shopping, my mom made sure to point out something wrong about me in every dress I tried that she didn't like. I wanted something elegant and princess-like, but my mom would say things like, "You need sleeves to cover your chunky arms.
You need tape to cover up your mouth."
There you go. Or the skirt on that makes you look pregnant. My friends tried to encourage me, but my self-esteem was rock bottom. After all, my mom had been dressing me my whole life. She obviously knew what looked good on me and what didn't, right?
No,
wrong. I ended up settling on the only dress she approved of, something I regret to this day because it looked awful on me, and it turns out she only chose it because a model in the bridal magazine was wearing it.
That's the thing. I feel like a lot of times people who are like plus size, when you have people who are like this mom who don't like hate that, and are actively like fat phobic and stuff,
right,
they choose things that aren't flattering because they want to cover that up, when you should be like, there are very flattering clothes for plus size people that accentuate those curves and their body type, and if you focus on covering it up, it doesn't focus on
like making it look good.
Making it look good. Exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy. Before we left the bridal store, one of my friends pulled me aside and warned me not to eat or drink anything my mom served me because while I was in the changing room, my mom asked her if she knew if any laxatives were a good way of losing weight.
Oh my God. Is she to like slip her laxatives?
Yeah, it sounds like
this
it.
Is like the Fae court. She's like, don't eat or drink anything that she serves you.
Right.
Oh, you'll be stuck in her clutches forever.
Right. I'd like to think I wasn't too strict on my bridesmaids as far as what they wore. We talked it over and I listened to their concerns about material, style, and price. My girls didn't want to be sexy or show off too much skin. They just wanted to be comfortable while standing next to me on my big day. They stressed that they were fine with whatever I wanted them to wear as long as it was what I wanted and it was comfortable. We picked out the dresses together and everyone looked great. My mom was there to see what dresses the girls picked and I could see the wheels turning. One day, my mom calls me to let me know that she got her dress and that she is going to look even better than me. You're planning to upstage the bride at her own wedding? That's like rule number 1. Don't do that.
Wear a freaking white dress?
Yes. Like,
why don't you go to that wedding that you already planned?
Yeah.
Why don't you go be the bride at that wedding?
Just show up. No one else will.
No one's going to be there and it'll be all about you.
Exactly. I'll be sure to include a photo of her standing next to me, cropped to protect identity, and you can decide if the color was appropriate or not. Ooh, was it like red, white. Do you think?
I think it's probably like cream or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, something that
like
a bride would wear.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, I was seriously considering uninviting her and the rest of my family and just having a close friends only ceremony.
Do that.
I had issues with my in-laws as well, but that's a story for another time. But the straw that broke the camel's back was when my mom texted me that she had paid for the perfect dress for my little sister. To be clear, my little sister and I are not close at all. We've been thrown together our whole lives, and my wedding was just another event my mom wanted us to be a sister set for. The demand for weight loss was so that my sister and I could go back to looking like almost twins again. What?
I hate that.
I'm 3 years older than her. I'd sent my mom a photo of 3 different dresses that I thought would look really good on my sister. The goal was comfortable yet classy. I told my mom that I at least wanted to see what she looked like in each dress, and if for some reason those dresses didn't work out, I at least wanted to see the dress they chose before they paid for it so I could make sure it blended well with my bridesmaids. After the whole "I'm going to look better than you" comment, I couldn't trust my mom to pick an appropriate dress for my sister, which is why I gave her 3 options. Sure enough, my mom dodged my questions and tried to reassure me that because she's been dressing us for years, she knows what looks best and to just trust her. When she finally sent the picture of my little sister, my heart broke. The dress itself was gorgeous. It looked like my sister was wrapped in one giant silk ribbon with a lovely bow tied at the shoulder. The problem was that it completely ignored my sister's body type and it looked like it was awkwardly hanging off her. Surprise, surprise, ignoring the body type.
Who would have guessed it from this lady?
My sister does not have any curves at all. No bust, no hips, straight as a board. And the dress was designed to rely on curves to hold it in place. The one strap that draped across the shoulder was there to look pretty, not to actually hold the dress up. My mom said that they really struggled with this when my sister was trying the dress on, but that they were going to get her a padded strapless bra to help.
Oh my God.
My goodness.
Stop.
It was clear that the focus behind this dress choice was not to find a dress that helps my sister natural beauty shine, but to choose a dress that outshined my bridesmaids and stuff, pad, or switch whatever to force the dress to just fit her. When I tried to ask basic questions about how they came across this dress and how they ultimately decided on this one, and why they didn't send me any pictures until I asked to see, my mom got frustrated and angry and blurted out, "You know what, Molly? You're being a real bridezilla. You're stressing me out. You're the reason your stepdad had a heart attack. It's because your wedding is stressing everyone out, and that's why he collapsed at work and had to be hospitalized for a week. And his medical bills are so expensive, yet we still bought outfits for your wedding, and all you can do is complain." Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, the only person who is stressing this stepdad out is you, lady.
It's you.
It's you.
It's you.
The call's coming from within the house.
Yes, and if the medical expenses were so high,
why did you freaking plan a whole wedding?
Yeah, why did you literally book venue, caterers, whoever you needed when you have a heart attack to pay for? Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. I felt like I had been punched. My stepdad had a heart attack a few months prior, and my mom didn't tell me until he had been in the hospital for almost a full week. Oh my gosh. Even if I was out of line for asking about the dress, even if I was wrong to ask so many questions, blaming me for my stepdad's heart attack was just crushing. I hung up and cried for a bit, then talked it over with Matt. He stood by me when I called my mom back and said, You know what, Mom? Don't bother coming to the wedding. Go ahead and return the dresses. You bought them, or you just bought them, right? So you should be able to return them. Get your money back and put that money towards Dad's bills. It's okay. I never meant to stress you all out with this. I'm sorry. You don't need to come. Just focus on Dad's health.
Yes.
That's the perfect response.
It's like,
Perfect.
okay, fine. You don't need to come. I totally feel for you.
Yeah.
Dad is number one priority.
Right. You're so right. Those
You're
outfits
so
were
right.
expensive. You need to put it towards the medical bills.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's like it's beautiful because it puts it on
Perfect.
them. It's not like, oh, I don't want you to come to the wedding, where they could flip it and be like, how dare
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
She uninvited me. It's like, oh no,
It's like the perfect amount of passive aggressiveness.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love it.
love it.
Mom backpedaled hard. She never said sorry. She just said it wasn't as bad as all that. And if I really wanted her to, she could get one of the dresses I'd originally picked out. Ah! Oh my gosh. I didn't care anymore. I said my sister could wear that dress, that it wasn't a big deal. I just wanted to be included, like in the process of shopping for it. Okay, that makes sense. To this day, my wedding day is one of the biggest regrets of my life. That's so sad. That's the one
Just
day
do
that
it.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, do like a little it doesn't have to be expensive, but do a little like vow renewal
Yeah, make that.
without them.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
I wish I'd stood up for myself more. I wish I had never settled. And I wish that we'd kept it strictly to our closest friends, the real ones who had stuck with us through all the BS. And you know who can stick with you is us. You just gotta join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
But there's more to the story, but what are your thoughts right now?
Oh man, it seems like your mother is just incredibly manipulative, and I think going forward, it seems like you've already kind of are cutting her out of your life to a
Yeah.
certain extent, which I think is a great idea because she doesn't deserve to have a hold over you anymore.
Yeah.
Release her to the dogs.
Let her go.
Let her go.
Let her go. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think renewing your vows and having
Yes.
a little redo is like perfect.
That's what I was
I think that would be
thinking
lovely.
Mhm.
Have it just be a little close friends only thing.
of. Yeah.
And then just like have that replace it.
Get a cute little dress.
Yeah, get a dress on a budget that you actually like and that actually looks
Yeah.
good on you.
Doesn't
and
have to
you're
be
good.
just a crazy thing.
So, more to the story. Little update. My family still showed up to my wedding. My mom yelled at me after the ceremony and demanded that I help clean up, so I ended up being late to the reception. What? You're gonna make the bride clean up at her own wedding?
What?
Come
like you
on.
sit around with a trash bag?
Yeah, what? Picking up little flower petals wherever? The shoulder strap on my sister's dress kept sliding off, and she had to constantly pull her dress up while she
Oh,
danced.
I hate that.
Matt and I are still together to this day. Been married for 12 years. Oh, good. We still have a rocky relationship with my mom, but I'm seeing a therapist now and have come so far from who I was back then. Anyway, thank you for listening to my story, and that is the end.
Damn.
Oh,
I love
wow.
that. Beautiful.
Good thing that she's going to therapy.
Yeah.
I think 12 years is coming. When 15 rolls around, renew those vows.
renew those vows.
thing.
Little 15-year anniversary.
Yeah, let your sister like pick her own dress
Mhm,
because that's
mhm.
another thing. The sister didn't get to pick her dress.
That was so sad.
That's just ugh.
really
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your mom sucks.
Yeah.
You and Matt are great.
That's the end of that story. So we'll see you next time.
My ex-fiancé cheated on me with my stepsister. Now my family wants me to forgive them.
No way. Do not forgive that.
Move on.
Move
Greener
on.
pastures.
So when I was 23, now 28, I was engaged to Ryan, 32, now 37, and our engagement ended when my stepsister Kelly was 24, now 29, begged me to leave him because they loved each other, but Ryan was too afraid to break up with me because he didn't want to hurt me and my family. Maybe try not sleeping with
Whoa.
a stepsister if you don't want to hurt people.
Whoa, that is a strong first sentence.
By the way,
God
this
dang.
this comes from ThrowRaffNF on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. If you want to send in your own, go to that subreddit, send them in. So when I confronted Ryan about it, he denied it and said that she had been trying to come on to him for some time and he never mentioned it because he didn't want to ruin our relationship. He begged me not to believe her, and so we continued how we were. So OP basically took him at face value.
Okay.
Kelly grew resentful and made nasty comments about how I was forcing a man who didn't even love me to marry me because I had low self-esteem constantly.
Wow. This stepsister sucked. Dude, talk about evil stepsisters. Disney was right.
Yup. Yo, cast her right now.
Mm.
A month later, she sent me a video of them having spicy sleep in my bed.
Oh! Oh!
That is what you call unrefutable evidence.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh. Oh.
And multiple screenshots of him telling her he loved her.
Oh.
How he wished she was the girl he was marrying and how he hated that I wouldn't let them be together.
What do you mean? Just break up. Just break up. Oh, there are better ways to go about this.
And just to call it out even more, the using, shifting the blame on other people, like, oh yeah, OP's the one that's keeping you from me. No.
Boy,
OP's
you have
just,
autonomy.
OP's just sitting there living her life. You are the one that's making up this insane mental Olympic set that you're doing these quadruple backflips through. Wow.
Oh man, those first sentences still got me.
Oh, there's way more.
I'm locked in, dude. I am locked in.
So I was devastated and angry, but my best friend convinced me not to go nuclear on them and instead to quietly move out where Ryan was at work the next week.
Smart. Hey. You know what? Self-care over pettiness.
There we go.
Self-care over pettiness.
There
Do
we
not
go.
seek revenge. Seek healing.
Seek healing. Ooh.
Because healing can only happen after you let go of revenge and be like water.
Very true.
Bruce Lee quote. I think.
Samuel Donner. So that's what I did. I contacted my dad and my stepmom and asked them if I could move in temporarily. I removed the money I contributed into our joint account for the wedding expenses and transferred the rest to him before closing out the account. Once I got settled in, I sent all the screenshots she sent to me to all of our relatives and his. And to be clear,
Now, let me be clear.
this isn't the I don't think this is the spicy text
video.
This isn't the spicy text, spicy videos. This is just, I think, screenshots of him confessing his love to her over text and saying like, "Oh, he's getting in the way" and all that.
I don't know. That's a little. I think that's a little trashy.
Yeah,
the argument for doing that is like, getting ahead of the story. Like you control the story, and so if they start weaving lies about who you are and what you're doing, you can kind of preempt that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It feels like the same reason we got into the Cold War with Russia, where it's like, oh, like I'm gonna use my nukes on you. You're gonna it's like preemptive war. And usually when you do preemptive war, it's just like a bad move.
Yeah, like you're basically you're like, oh, the other person's gonna make the shot first, when in reality maybe no one
makes a shot. Yeah. I guess the better one is Hiroshima. It was like preemptive war. But like I don't think that was necessarily a good move.
Samuel Donner disagrees
with dropping nuclear bombs on innocent civilians. Yeah, hot take.
Hot take. So Ryan tried to get back together with me multiple times, but I ended up blocking him when I found out he had proposed to her with the same ring he gave me that I left behind.
Recycle, reduce, reuse. I know I used that joke earlier, but I love that joke.
Ooh.
I mean,
wow.
what else? What, he's going to buy a new ring?
I mean, no, but golly, dude. What's wrong with you?
Also, what's wrong with the sister for accepting that, too?
Oh, dude. Stepsis and
talk about
Ryan,
low self-esteem.
You know what? They're made for each other.
They are made for each other. They're perfect for each other.
So
honestly, you're doing yourself and them a favor. You're doing everyone a favor.
God. So now Kelly is my stepsister from my mom's side. I have another stepsister, 36, and stepbrother, 38, from my mom's second marriage, as well as a half sister, 26. They all went to the wedding. Whenever I
to their wedding?
Wait.
Wait,
what? Yeah. Wait. Oh, so yes. So he did. I thought OP was saying, oh, she tried to propose, she like dumped him, and now she was trying to get back with me. But I guess it was he tried to get back with her, didn't work. He's like, all right, screw it. I'll just settle for Kelly, or I'll get with her.
Wow.
And everyone went to the wedding.
Wow.
So whenever I tried to express I was hurt by the fact that they were supporting Kelly/Ryan, as though what they did to me meant nothing, they would shrug it off and say that they couldn't cut them out completely because they're family. It's okay. They're family.
I got family.
Yeah, you don't have to cut someone off to just don't go to the wedding because you're like, yeah, I don't approve.
Who is she mad at for going at the wedding?
She's so basically all of those all of her mom's side of the family essentially went. The mom,
Yeah.
her stepkids from her mom's second marriage, like all of those people. And it's like, yeah, to OP, which honestly, I understand. It's like you are co-signing
Yeah.
the insanity of what they did. And you know what? In another world where Ryan was like, hey, this is the most messed up thing in the world, but low-key fell in love with your stepsister and
maybe ended it like more elegantly as you can.
yeah, there's no like truly elegant way, but there is the most
Better
elegant way.
There's
You
a better way
can.
than this.
There is a better way, right? If that was the case, that's more gray area. But dude, this is-
So you would say that like a question.
yes,
If you had a sibling that did this, would you not go to their wedding?
so if I had a sibling that stole my partner,
Not your partner, someone else's partner.
but it's their partner, we got to use the scenario at hand, right? So if my sister stole my wife
but I guess I'm trying to think about it through the
the family's
the
POV.
family's
I
POV.
understand. Okay, so yeah. So if I'm
If you're like if your sister did this, which she would never do.
yeah.
But if she did this, would you still go to the wedding?
I think if I understood what that I assume I'm in I'm somewhat close to this person and have conversations to understand how they feel. If I understood how they felt, I think I don't know if I would go to the wedding. Just because
How about a parent? You're a parent.
my parent. Wow. If my parent did that.
Or no, you are the parent.
Oh, I'm the parent.
Yeah.
And, okay. I will say it would be hard being the parent.
And not going.
Yeah. So maybe if anyone's POV, I understand the mom the most because it's just like not going to your child's wedding.
Yeah.
Just feels like that's just like a dream I think probably every parent has. But so like I understand where the mom will be coming from there. But it also sounds like it wasn't addressed to OP.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know I'm like going to this wedding, but like, hey, I want to see my sister. I want to see my daughter get married. But I also understand. OP basically is like, oh, I'm like unseen. Like my hurt doesn't matter to you all.
Yeah. I guess like if this was my sister, I would be like, hey, I think you started this in like the worst possible way. I don't know if this is a good marriage. I don't want to support it.
Yeah.
But that's also hard to do that's also hard to, man, it's tough. It's a tough situation.
It's a tough
as family.
situation.
Question: if your family member did this, or if you were the parent of someone who did this, would you still go to the wedding?
Light up that keyboard. Let us know in the comments and let us know too, chat. So I haven't spent a single holiday with my mom's side since neither has my older biological brother or sister. I only see my mom and half sister when I invite them over to my place, as Kelly and Ryan moved in with my mom and my stepdad a year after they got married. Our relationship is very rocky, but I've grown closer to my dad and stepmom and their children, an older stepbrother and two younger half siblings, who have all been very supportive since this all happened, so it's not been all bad. On New Year's Day, my boyfriend, now husband, proposed to me. So we had a small engagement party, which I invited my mom and my half sister to. So not Kelly, the worst of it, but yeah. They never turned up because I was excluding half of our family.
Wow, this is the wedding you choose to conscientiously eject from?
I never invited my stepdad or step siblings because they were pretty hurtful when it came out that Ryan and Kelly were sleeping together. They claimed it wasn't their fault and that I was the one who got in the way of their true love. Never let your Never let your stepsister stop you from finding your
wife.
Yeah,
Husband. They're rom-comming it, dude.
They made me out to be some sort of vindictive Disney villain for being angry with them. We were planning to have our wedding ceremony this summer, but in late February, my husband suggested we postpone until next year because he was concerned the vid could get worse and we would have to cancel or reschedule it anyways. So I ended up finding out that I was pregnant a month before our original wedding date.
When?
So we had a courthouse wedding on that date with the plan to hold the ceremony next year. only my dad's side of the family were aware of both the pregnancy and the wedding. So my mom likes to knit, so she's been making stuff for the baby. Recently, she's posted about the things she's made on Facebook with the caption talking about how excited she was to have another grandchild soon.
Oh.
Do we ICU?
ICU.
What is about to happen?
I mean, you're gonna get cut out. You're getting cut out.
You don't get grandbaby time if you are horrible to me.
No.
If you support the person who stole my partner, the person I love.
Yeah, Opie's gonna put that boundary down so hard.
Ooh.
I'm very excited for it.
And I was tagged in the post.
Oh.
She said, I'm going to tag you like a chew. I have zero issues with the post. I never told my family I wasn't going to inform my mom's side. It wasn't that I intentionally hid it from her. She just never really seemed interested in my life/relationship, so I never brought it up. It seems like they're just like in not as heavy contact because she's been stomping on her boundaries. My mom called me an hour later to demand to know if I was pregnant and how she couldn't believe I hadn't told her she was finally going to be a grandmother. She has since invited me and my husband over to her house multiple times. I've declined every single time for the obvious reason, which is that Kelly and Ryan, the people who screwed her over, live there. My stepdad, who I've barely spoken to in 5 years, has reached out to me to tell me how excited he is to meet the baby and my husband, and same with my bio sibling.
Nope.
Even Kelly reached out to my husband. Congratulations.
No. Not again.
Oh.
Not again.
She's like, I got you a little present.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come over and see it.
Oh, God. Emphasis on the over. I was furious. So the next time my mom and stepdad called me, I fully laid into them. I told them I don't want them to keep inviting me over when they knew I would be forced to see Kelly/Ryan if I came over. I told them how hurt and angry I still am over what they did and how my quote-unquote family dismissed my feelings. I told them how they wouldn't throw Kelly and Ryan away, but they were so quick to leave me out to rot whilst I was going through the worst betrayal I'd ever experienced in my life. And I told them I wasn't even sure if I wanted people like them in my child's life. Quick pause there. Chat. Sam, thoughts on all that?
I mean, yeah, not only did they like F you over once by going to this wedding of this person that destroyed your life, which I think may be able to be forgiven, but then they doubled down by not going to your wedding.
Yeah.
Like that doubling down, that's showed you everything that you need to know to put your boundary down and definitely talk to them a whole lot less.
Oh, yes. And OP did say like, oh, I laid into them. But I feel like OP just kind of very explicitly laid out, hey, here is why I am so hurt and feel so betrayed and unsupported. Yeah. Yeah, man. You got to, and at that point, they need to know.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If they don't know, need to. So, my mom was crying hysterically and kept saying I was being cruel and I couldn't deprive her of her first grandchild. The thing is, my baby isn't her first grandchild. Here we go. My sister has 2 adopted daughters. Yup. Oh, my first real grandbaby. No. Those are your real grandbabies.
Oh, God.
But if you had a heart that wasn't shriveled and blackened like the Grinch, then you would know that. Just saying. My sister has 2 adopted kids already who my mom doesn't even try to bond with.
Oh.
She kept wailing about how I might be the only person in our family to even give her grandchildren. My stepsisters are both having a hard time getting/staying pregnant, and my half-sister has proclaimed herself to be child-free.
Oh.
So my stepdad got angry and defensive at me. He claimed I was petty for holding on to something that happened 5 years ago. He pointed out how I had found someone else, so I should understand how love works, and sometimes 2 people just can't help themselves. Not helping, stepdaddy. You love who you love, basically, is what he said. He said Kelly and Ryan were happy together, so I was happy for them the way they're happy for me and my husband. The ironic thing is my sister told me Kelly and Ryan looked like they were on the verge of divorce.
Oh.
They argue constantly. My mom complains to her about them and how my siblings all hate him and pretend like they like him just for Kelly's sake. By the way, if you hate to run out of delicious content like what you're listening to right now, go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, where you made us the top 100 comedy podcast, by the way. Search OK Storytime for 2,000 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. But we have a little bit more to the story, and I'm going to dive right in.
Let's do it.
I ended up hanging up because I was so angry. And when I got angry, I started crying. I didn't want them to think they got to me. Since I've been receiving texts and calls nonstop from my mom's side of the family, they're all essentially telling me that I should be over all of these things already.
Ugh.
It's gotten to the point where me and my husband have switched phones so he can screen my messages for me and I don't have to read them. Wow, that is
I've
insane.
never heard of that before.
Sucks.
That's insane. How do I make my family understand just how unforgivable what Kelly and Ryan has done to me? I would prefer not to go completely no contact, but is that my only option here? So let's answer to close this out.
Send a memo.
Say again.
I think you just send a memo and I think we do their classic iPhone lock screen method. Where it's like, hey, here's a memo. This is why I'm so hurt. This is how I want to be treated. If you're willing to treat me like that, I would love to have you in my life. If you don't treat me like that, I'm going to have to like put more distance and kind of like see what happens.
I am going to say this might be entering the gray zone where it's like they've already, I feel like that's like it's like the first or second or third like response. It sounds like they've already committed like their rap sheet. They've committed felonies already, right? So it's like, if you've committed a 13 felonies already, am I going to give you community service, or am I just going to be like, yo, you've had your chance. You did the crime. You got to do the time.
The only
until
reason
proven innocent.
The only
afterwards.
reason I'm thinking about doing this is it sounds like OP doesn't want to cut their family out.
That is true.
Is that my only option? I'm like, okay, let's give OP one more option.
Right. Yes.
Before they have to do what they really don't want to do.
Which is totally fair. Like shout out to OP after all of this, trying to be empathetic and think about her family. But yeah, man, I think I wonder if OP is doing that out of want or
obligation. That's a good point. That's a good point. If OP could be like, no, I'm supposed to be close to my family.
Yeah.
Should I do this? And I think the answer to that is, I mean, just like everyone else in your life, your family has to like earn their place.
Yeah.
And if they are constantly wearing you down or hurting you, then you have just as much a right to put a boundary up as you would anyone else in your life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But I'd love to know what you guys think.
Yes.
Put your answers in the comments below, and we'll get into this next story.
My stepson's mom forbid me from sharing my culture.
We just don't do that around here. That's just not our vibe.
I, 32 female, have been with my husband, 39 male, for about 7 years. He has a son from a former relationship, 9, and we didn't even know he even existed until about 5 years ago when his ex, 40 female, contacted him demanding child support. Dang. She admits the only reason she even let him know about the kid was because she found out we were engaged and she wanted to rain on his parade. Insane. Insane. After a lot of back and forth and legal shenanigans, we got sort of 50-50. First was therapy, visitation, etc. But we are now at 50-50. By the way, this comes from Mariachi. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I come from Latin America, and my stepson is really fascinated by many of the cultural things and the language. He met my parents on their last visit, and he is a really lovely, bright, and curious kid. He started catching up with some of the words, and now we speak Spanish on a daily basis when he's with us. That's so cute.
That's fun.
His mom didn't have any issue until he started to ask if he can come to my country next time we visit. We told him we got to discuss it amongst the adults, but he's very interested. We got no issue. My family has said that he's more than welcome. I come from a blended family, and we would, of course, cover all of the costs. She really disliked the idea, but not because of the travel or anything else. But because she believes I, are using money to turn him against her. She's like,
Your culture is too cool. He's gonna leave me.
There are many issues between them already because he thinks she is a liar for not telling him about his dad. And yeah, it's hard sometimes. Do we know how old the son is? 9? Okay. But we talk a lot, son and I, about having blended families and understanding parents. Anyway, she told me I had to stop encouraging and sharing the language and the culture in my house when he's with us and speak the home country language or English. I said no. I have been very passive through the whole thing since the beginning, but I am exhausted of her demands. Honestly, I think if your partner is okay with it, then she really has no say in you speaking a language around her son. Like, you have 50-50 custody. She can't do anything.
True.
It is not harming the kid at all. In fact, it's probably helping him in the long run to know another language.
I'm just thinking about some cultures, like where I come from. Let's say I want to put a deer head up in the house. I could probably put that up in my room, but in the living room, I don't think Sophia would like that.
I wouldn't.
Even though it'd be dope and sick and cool.
It'd be so dope.
It'd be so sick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be into that.
But this, come
Just
on.
speaking another language.
Speaking a language that can help connect with other people.
Yeah.
If you are forbidding connection with other people, why are we doing that? You know?
I understand she is his mom, but I see no harm in the kid speaking Spanish like a native. Bless the other 2 he does. Dang, this kid knows 3 languages? Jeez.
But you said you knew Spanish.
Senor, por favor.
And I see no issue with him traveling abroad and having more cultural connections. Heck, I even offered to pay for her to come along with her husband. Dang! Opie, how much money do you have? She says I'm a very big, snobbish a-hole, and she's going to see how to keep the kid away from me. Not possible. Her husband says I should be more understanding and not step on her toes when the kid already is not her biggest fan. I wonder why. Maybe it's the consequences of your own actions and not anything to do with OP.
Yeah. And you don't fight this battle.
Yeah.
Because
you're not going to win. Your kid's going to hate you more.
What's going to happen is you're going to go to court.
Yeah.
You're like, you're right. You really can't provide for this kid, so we're just going to give full custody to them. Be grateful for what you have.
Yeah. My husband says he just wants the best for the kid and sees no wrong with him learning and traveling. I would like an outside, impartial perspective about it. And there is an update, folks. My impartial perspective is that you're totally fine.
Yeah.
I like, who cares if she's being pissy? I mean, we already know that she's not a good person because she kept the knowledge of your partner's son from him for 4 years because you said that you've learned about this 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So she really has no kind of leg to stand on here as long as your partner is okay with it.
Yeah, because, dude, you know how sick it'd be if I could go to other places and understand a language and be able to connect in that kind of way?
I wish I actually knew Spanish.
I got enough. Keon says I knew enough to get around.
You did really well. I mean, you were immersing yourself in the culture and you were knocking it out of the park. Like day 1, brutal. Day 5, I was like, you're ordering for yourself. I'm really proud of you.
Wait, brutal? It was brutal on day 1?
You were like...
Hugo Antonio González Ramírez y esta mi hermana.
Yo soy María Eugenia González Ramírez. Nos acabamos de mudar de aquí, de Miami, pero somos de Cuba.
You had your twang on it.
Yeah, your pronunciation.
Yeah, your pronunciation. Yeah, Espanol.
I'm really good at picking up. This is one of my toxic traits. I'm really good at picking up other people's laughs if I like them. Like if I like their laugh, I'll pick it up. But I'm pretty good at picking up other people's slang and everything. I almost picked up a New York accent when I went there for a week. That was scary.
Update. 3 months later, my stepson is now staying most of the time with us.
Nice.
Cool. We had no battle or issue. It's just what we decided after a proper heart-to-heart conversation between moms. When the time comes where there is a possibility to go to my country, we will discuss it again. But at the moment, it is a yes. The heart-to-heart was a very emotional, complex talk, but I felt it had to happen. She is, after all, part of my life forever, and I want her to know she is the mommy no matter what. I saw a completely different side of her, and I know it is not a magic wand, but I have noticed the changes. I am pregnant. I know I should not say so early. I was already when I made my first post, but didn't even know. Wow. But we are all so positive and almost on the clear line, even my stepson's mom. Everybody has taken it as a celebration, and the only time we had issue was when we talked bedrooms at our flat because my son thought he had to give his super nice one for my true baby, as he called it. But we assured him his bedroom is his forever unless we move. My parents will be arriving in the next few months and asked if they can bring extra gifts to my son so it is an easier transition. And his mom said yes. It seems somehow me having a baby has made her realize we are so linked, or I don't know. Maybe it was my husband saying he would not allow more disrespect, LOL.
This is so
I
nice.
love this. I love that she had a conversation with this mom who, like, honestly, it seems like she sucked and had this conversation and figured it out.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I think this is beautiful. I don't trust the real mom, though, the bio mom. Because if you have co-parenting, you cannot badmouth the other parents or anything like that. Because the kids listen, like, oh, if my mom thinks that way, maybe I should be thinking that way. And it starts to grow these ideas and the separation. You need to be unified in that aspect. And it seems like OP's taking the steps not to let that happen. But who knows what bio mom's saying back home.
I hope that she's improving.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it. And I really want them to all work together for the benefit of this kid. Parents also asked if it was okay to bring gifts for her kid. And she said yes as well. My mom is the happiest person now because she is in full shopping mode. LOL. She's been very civil and even nice. And in response, she has gained a better relationship with our son. That's all you needed to do. I am convinced he is smart enough to orchestrate all of it. But I have mommy baby brain. We have agreed to raise them all as together as possible. Her kids, our kids, our kid. I said I can contribute to the education fund for all kids if she allows me. How much money does OP have? Dang! She said yes on the condition that they all go to the same school. I want my kids in Spanish kita. She wants hers in normal kita. I thought we would have World War II again, but her husband told her my kids will speak Spanish no matter what she wants. And it is a useful language, so all kids in our tribe should speak Spanish. This is so good. And she agreed. I almost fainted. What a turnaround.
What happened?
Now, we decided to divide care after daycares and kiddas, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten. And I will speak to the kids in Spanish, so they are all naturals. My son is the happiest because now he feels all his families are in sync, and he can just chill. It makes me extremely happy. In addition, she said my son can come with us if he wants, but we need to let her know at least a year in advance, and she's doing the same with us, which I find reasonable. And there is a second update, folks. But wow, we are looking so up. This is like, we are balls rolling up, man.
Oh
this
my
is great.
gosh.
This is great.
I'm so happy.
Me too. I mean, like, this is what I wanted. I didn't want it to be bad, and now it isn't.
What kind of come to Jesus meeting or realization did she have?
Hope you should be a lawyer,
because we need to duplicate that for all these other families on Reddit.
Story.
Like what?
There's a second update. 1 month after first update, she, son's mom, has always been in therapy. It was determined when this all started back in the day. She was never outright cruel or super mean. It was just that she was not nice to me or my relationship until now that she tries. She gets a say as much as I get a say in education. I know it's weird, but I was raised in some sort of communal weird experience, and we all excel in our areas. I would never do anything to put distance between my son and his siblings. I'm trying to instate that they are his siblings. And for the one he already has, it is that way. If he doesn't like it, I'll drop it, but he seems very receptive to the mix of family. And I think also OP really understands how to do this because she comes from a blended family. So I think that she's really keyed into like all the complexity that goes on into creating this, and she's doing a great job of orchestrating it. She has issues that have come from other places, childhood, family, so on. And she is truly trying to be better and not be the person that did things to just ruin an engagement. My son stays mainly with us lately because he wants to, and that has made his relationship with his mother better. My son is even written in my parents' will. That's how much I love him. So yes, he is my son too. My parents are here and will be staying for a while. My in-laws are very careful on their excitement, and my parents, with permission, got my son on a little adventure and assured him they love him very, very much, and their love is infinite. He feels better now because he said he felt maybe they won't love him anymore because of my real baby.
No.
He is in therapy, always has been, but now we have addressed it. He made it clear he wants me to still love him like I do, and I have assured him I will. I do. I always will. He's going to a solo trip with his dad and another solo trip with both dads. My husband and her husband have always got a good relationship. Dang. And I think it never got better because of this stuff. My son is involved in the naming of the baby. It's between us three only. The drama portion, no! It was so perfect.
I'm okay.
It's okay. I'm okay.
I think whatever's about to happen will be like a rock. Will be water over a rock.
Yeah.
Water on a duck's back.
Yeah. It's just going to roll right off. Everything's fine.
This is solid. We have a
This is so
solid
perfect.
foundation. Whatever's about to happen in the trash bag in the wind.
They will overcome it.
They will persevere.
My husband wants us to move, so we have bigger bedrooms for everybody. But I don't feel like it because, pregnancy and adaptation.
Oh, okay.
This is fine. We can get over this. I want my son to be able to adapt before we start moving. My husband believes I'm just coddling him way too much, but I explain my perspective being from a blended family as a kid, and he backed off. When we look for a place, we'll be looking for one that we all like. End of drama portion.
Like I said, Opie has her stuff.
Fine.
She has it on lockdown. I've never seen this happen in a Reddit
This is
story
great.
before. This is wild.
Opie continues, I am an insomniac and have not changed at all, so here we are. Only I drink no more wine anymore, lol. My son's mom is actually giving me really good tips. We're working in our own wills and so on. But because I am developing a fear about the children's future, yay? And lastly, my husband is the most patient, caring, loving, goofy man. I know I got little critics saying he should have put it off when the bad stuff happened, but he's very neutral and asked me all the time if I was okay. He always said if I said no, he would have changed his tune. We are so far from perfect still. We just had a discussion about the type of school my son should go next, a thing in the country. But I am glad it is now a discussion and not an argument. Also, the baby's doing amazing. And there is a third update, folks.
Can we? Updates always give me a little.
I'm scared. I always get a little scared because I'm like, oh, it's going to change and everything's going to be ruined. But I think it's going to be okay.
Divorced.
I think it's going to be okay.
He cheated on me.
No. I'm manifesting it's going to be perfect.
Probably a curveball.
I need to get into it right now because I need it to be perfect.
Curveball.
Update 3, 2 months after the second update. Hey guys, I like that I can express myself freely here. I know some think our story is weird, others wholesome, others the best. But for us, it is a sort of dream at the moment. We've got a new house.
Wait, what?
Dang. It was picked by the three of us, husband, son, me, and it's lovely and beautiful and all we want for our kids. I always said I wanted to have just 2 kids, so after this one is born, we'll be closed for business. My husband will get a vasectomy, so I don't need to deal with hormones or birth control. I would also like to comment the new house is huge, and it has a guest room, so my son's brother can stay whenever he wants. They have done so before. Also, my kid turned 10. We are at a weird time, but we did a little family gathering with all 6 of his grandparents and all 4 his parents. He was very happy and enjoyed it with the friends he invited to it. We all coordinated presents so we didn't outstage each other or give him repeated gifts. I was so happy we could finally do something like this. As per my baby, she is a girl!
All right.
This is so lovely. I told my son and thought it might create issues, but he's so excited about it. He's gonna be a big brother! We have been having family therapy too, just in case, but the therapist says the kid is doing amazing and to please not overthink things. We had a gender reveal party, which I find kind of silly, but my son wanted to because they're very internet famous. It was just family and a couple of friends. When they realized it was a girl, they all paused for a second, and my son was so excited, then they all got so excited. I'm very, very happy with my family. His trips with his dad and dad's went great, so we took him on a mommy's trip. We took a lot of precautions, of course, but we had a blast. As much of a blast as you can have with a pregnant woman in Europe. If you know, you know. He deserves it because he is the best kid ever. As for my parents, they are really happy to do things for the kid and love being around him. He or anybody other than me doesn't know about the will or anything. He just loves them because he's nice. My parents are considering staying permanently because they want to be close, so it might be another thing coming. My in-laws are helping them find a permanent rental or so, and we're just all so excited. By the way, I'm so excited for you guys to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Top 10 best good stories.
I agree. This was so wholesome. This was so lovely. And there's just a little bit left of the story, but like perfect.
Number one's the violin one.
What's the violin one? I really
You
liked
gotta-
the story
you gotta
about.
listen to it on your favorite podcast platform.
I really liked the story about like Sweet Mama or something, or isn't it?
Oh, I remember that
Remember
one.
that? It was
that one
so,
made you cry.
Yeah, I loved that story.
You gotta listen to it on your favorite podcast platform.
But folks, there's a little bit left to this story. It's perfect. I have no notes. Great job, everyone, all around.
We're writing a textbook. This is how you co-parent.
Yeah.
You,
Truly,
you know,
you guys should write a book.
You know what the thing that she commonly kept bringing up?
Yeah.
What?
Communication.
Therapy.
Therapy. Yeah,
Family
she said therapy multiple
individual
times.
therapy. My son's in therapy.
Constantly talking. Like, we were really ready to be like, you know, you don't have to listen to what the stepmom says. But OP was like, no, I'm going to include her. I'm going to explain why it's important to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get her on my side.
That's
And
really-
she did.
That's really respectful.
Yeah.
I love that.
OP continues, as per mom, she has been more understanding and nice. I understand she was bitter, but she truly wants the best for our son. And that is our biggest common ground. And yes, she has taken up Spanish via an app.
All right.
She said she wanted the kids to see us equally, which I've always found ridiculous, and she's a nurse and clearly very qualified. We have had many combos about my parents' involvement, but she is more willing to give space lately. She and her family, which have always been delightful, are now all learning the language as a way to keep it all connected.
This is so cute.
We have movie night at least twice a week. Sometimes it's more people than other times. I just want to let people know that it can be better, and people are complicated, and people can love unconditionally. Yay!
I love unconditional love.
And folks, that's the end of that beautiful story.
My wife betrayed me with my stepfather. I want to tell my mother.
Tell her, I'm telling my mommy on you.
I'm sorry if this is a little much. I've been sitting in my car for a few hours. Sorry for errors. I'm on mobile. OP, I will never forgive you for
Dude,
any of
get
that.
out. Get out.
My wife and I have been married for 4 years. We argue sometimes over little things, but I love her with all my heart. There's never been anything wrong until now. I thought we were happy. I always treated her right and listened to her. I took her out whenever she wanted and studied with her. By the way, this comes from Times Q Streets, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, she doesn't work because she's getting her degree right now, so I gladly pay for everything and work overtime constantly because I wanted her to be great. She goes to classes nearly full time and spends the rest of her time home or at her school library. I'm not close to my mother at all, but I see her from time to time. Recently, we've been trying to reconnect, but she's just really not a good person. She was horrible to me growing up, but I tried to forgive her for her personality and actions. She has a lot of bad habits and had 2 failed marriages with really crappy dudes. She recently got remarried to another man 2 years ago. Let's call him X. My mother invites me and my wife, and it's the first time they all meet. Probably 4th time I've met him since they married fairly quickly. He seemed okay, just really didn't like his vibe too much. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt because at the end of the day, it's her life, not mine, and we aren't even close. Last year, X asks for help remodeling my mother's house for the day. My wife suggests that we stay for the week and make it a bonding thing. I agreed. I thought we could all do things together, but we ended up breaking into little teams. X and my wife really hit it off, and I'm not very good with construction and renovation related things. I ended up going out with my mother a few times to eat in an attempt to bond with her. It was weird, but we tried. My wife stayed behind, and I helped X remodel. Her family is really involved in the construction and engineering world, so she knew much more than I did about how to help fix the house up. They seemed to be really close that week, aka sharing jokes and laughing a lot when I wasn't around and super animated conversations, but I didn't think much of it because I assumed she was just being nice to my new stepfather.
I see you.
Mr. X, Mr. Studio Wife over here.
Mr. Big.
Yep.
You know, like in Spicy in the City.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Big.
Yep. Anyway, I trusted my wife. Mistake
first
number
mistake.
1. She started going back over to my mother's house to help X out afterwards. They live almost an hour away, so it's out of the way. I noticed when she'd be coming home way later than normal and decided to take the train instead of me picking her up. She kept saying library at first before she admitted to going there to help renovate, since I wasn't much help in terms of helping my mom fix up the place. It was like once or twice a week. This started happening early this year. When the house was finished late spring, they kept hanging out, which I didn't mind. I guess that makes me stupid. When her classes ended in summer, we stopped spending as much time together, but she made nothing seem wrong. She seemed happy. Our spicy sleep life was the same. We were trying for a baby. Everything was good, even communication. Are you sure, buddy? Are you sure about that? I tried to go with her to my mom's place, but she was usually with her friends when she wasn't home, and I didn't really like X's humor and mannerisms. I didn't mind. I worked a lot and liked to be alone sometimes. A few weeks ago, she got home late again and went to shower. I always joked that she'd use up all the city's water with how long she showered. She was in there a bit, probably 1 a.m., when her phone pinged and vibrated.
Ruh-roh.
It does this like 4 to 5 times in a few minutes. Anyway, I didn't want to invade her privacy, but that's very abnormal. I tapped her screen to see what it was, and I recognized the number. It was X's. And a reminder, this is around 1 a.m. He sent multiple MMS messages with his face and nude pictures of himself.
Ew.
Peepees.
Peepees out.
Peepees.
Put the peepee away.
The peepees are out of there.
Put the peepee away. Put the peepee away. This is disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
You sicken me.
Anyway,
Put them the
there
freak
were
away.
replies.
Ew.
There were replies from her with nude photos that were recent.
Oh, Lord.
What would you call that? Peepees. TT's out.
TT's out. TT's out. Put your TT's away.
Man.
No one wants to see your TT's.
Just a lot of words I haven't processed yet.
No.
I took an extended screenshot of it, took a few minutes, and mailed it to myself and put the message on unread so she wouldn't know I saw. I really wish I didn't. I really would have honestly just not have known and kept everything perfect. There are months of texts, blocks of texts and photos and heart emojis. What? How long have we been knowing about this ex guy, though? I thought the mom only recently started dating him. That's wild.
No.
I took a few days off work the following morning and flew down to see an old friend who lives in the Midwest. He's hooking me up with a month-to-month studio, no questions asked, since we don't talk much anymore. She doesn't know I'm leaving in January, which is when our lease is up. Whoa. I told her it was a trip for work, and she just smiled and told me to have fun and that she'd miss me.
Yeah, you're gonna miss me. You're gonna miss me a whole lot because I ain't never coming back.
Yeah, she's probably like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I miss you so much. And then she's like, yes,
Call me.
I'm gonna have the house alone and I can have peepees out all the time.
Call me the owner and Hachi because I ain't never coming back.
I came back and she didn't seem any different. Our anniversary is the day before Christmas Eve. I haven't told my mother, not sure how or if I want to. I haven't told anyone except you, Reddit. I want to get out of here and I want to be alone and think. It's been a while,
you
but
told us.
Ooh, I know your secret.
You told us a secret.
You're gonna leave in January.
I'm gonna tell everyone I know.
It's been a while, but I still haven't had the heart to go through all of the texts and photos. I feel like reading it all would make it all worse for me. I already feel broken and empty. I left my friends behind for her and started a life with her. I thought she was happy. We have been trying to get pregnant slightly before and around the time that I found out, and we're supposed to go to check in with the docs after the holidays.
Well, thank goodness she didn't get pregnant.
I need some time to think, and I need to know how to fix this with my wife. How do I tell my mother? I love my wife with everything. She's all I have. I gave her everything these last 4+ years. I can't just divorce.
And she gave everything to everyone.
Yeah, she sure did.
She's a kind and giving person.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to follow in my mother's footsteps. I know it all seems outrageous given that he's married to my mother, but I don't have anyone else to talk to. I was supposed to be home, so this isn't a boyfriend. They're married. Dang.
Well,
man.
no, OP, yeah, everyone's married in this story.
I know it all seems outrageous given he's married to my mother, but I don't have anyone else to talk to. I was supposed to be home 5 hours ago, but I don't think I can lay next to her anymore. I've been forcing myself to try and get over it and hope it just goes away, and it makes me feel more and more disgusted with myself. I'm probably going to sleep in my car tonight. She's already called me 3 times, and I'm just exhausted emotionally. It hurts ignoring her calls. I'll try to check back for any answers later tomorrow if I have the time. I'm sorry if this post was a waste of your time, but I hope you have advice. And there is an update.
Ooh.
What's our advice to OP in this situation?
Leave your wife. She sucks.
Yeah.
Buy new TTs.
Get a hotel.
Don't let your wife's TTs stop you from finding other TTs. Your
Yeah,
true
'cause she's
TTs.
already found other peepees.
Yeah, exactly. All of these peepees are out, and it's not yours. And you
Yeah,
gotta
your
go
peepees.
find a place where it's safe to have your peepees out, man.
But then we got an update.
We do have an update, though. I wasn't going to update as I'm not on here often, and after going through some of my comments, I didn't know what to say, but things have changed since my first post. After my post, I slept in my car for a few hours and tried to
Oh.
go back to work. I spent the entire day overthinking and crying, honestly. My boss suggested that I take some extra time off, and I agreed. I've built up a very substantial amount in savings that can cover us for a few years, so I'm not worried about money. My wife called and texted me 20 plus times, and I didn't answer. The comments I got telling me my wife was some horrible person and that I should leave her didn't help. I appreciate so many people offering what they think was the right move, but they don't know my wife. She's the best thing that has ever happened to me, and before her, my life just felt like I was on autopilot. I decided after I left work that I couldn't go home because I didn't want to break it down in front of her, but I also couldn't just keep ignoring her. So I texted her, letting her know that I know what she did, and I wasn't ready to talk yet, but I'll be willing to talk at the end of the week. I got an Airbnb for a few days and finally agreed to go home and talk to her. It was the hardest talk I've ever had with someone. The problem was I wasn't really around, and I was always working overtime, and he made her feel wanted. And I see now that I should have tried harder to be there for her. I told her that it really hurt me finding out, though I haven't yet told her how I know, especially considering he's literally married to my mother and all the times I've picked her up or dropped her off from spending time with him. She apologized profusely. She told me it only happened once, and then she admitted to texting him. Oh, wait, what? So here's the thing is,
the wife.
I mean, I guess we figured.
Yeah, we
But
figured.
at the same time, I don't know. I've picked you up pretty late from his house all those times. How can it only happen once?
Well, it definitely didn't because you guys were chit-chatting for months.
Yeah, for months, dude. That's my mom's hubby.
Sending nudie pictures.
You're gonna cheat on me
You're
with
cheating on
my
me with my
mom's
mom's
hubby?
hubbies.
That's crazy talk, dude.
That's like
Crazy.
messed up.
She promised to never speak to him again. She was a mess. I was a mess. I told her that I was considering spending some time in Iowa at an old friend's place after our lease ended, but then she broke the best possible news.
Best possible
She's
news.
preggers.
No, I don't believe her.
Well, you guys were trying, right?
Who with
This
though?
is what you wanted.
Who with?
I was apprehensive at first, but she promised me that they had only ever been physical once, and that was at the beginning of the year, which wouldn't add up to her being pregnant now.
And she's never lied before.
We were intimate a few weeks prior to this post, so I'm sure it's fine. I'm not. She convinced me to stay, and I promised her we would fix this together. Boo. My father ditched me at a young age and left me with my mother. I'm not going to abandon my wife and my child over one mistake. I'm not like my father or my mother. I'm going no contact with both ex and my mother. My wife suggested a clean break from them would be the best move for our new family. No. The
That's
wife
a
said that?
bad step.
The
Break
wife-
up with your wife.
I could understand not going contact with ex, but she's literally like, oh yeah, the best thing
Break
that we
up
have
with
to
your
do
mom.
for our family is to cut off
your
my affair partner
mom.
and your mom.
And
But-
also, I'm not gonna cut off my affair partner though.
Uh-oh.
You just can't talk to your mom because then if you guys talk, then you'll know that I haven't cut off.
Yeah, exactly.
Affair partner.
Exactly. She's like, we gotta cut him off so we can hide our secrets. You know what I mean? So we gotta keep it. So I guess that means I will not be telling my mother about what happened, nor will I confront ex about this. We're also considering whether we should move out of the state or renew our lease since this is all last minute. She wants to finish getting her degree before we make any rash decisions, which makes sense, but being so close to my mother and ex doesn't help. Thank you all for your time and understanding. I'm sorry if this wasn't the kind of update you were looking for, but you have to put your feelings aside for the good of your family. My trust can be rebuilt. I know I will never find another person who loves me the way she does, and when you find that, I feel like you should hold on to that. I don't have anyone else here, and I don't think I'd be able to live if she left me. I considered self-harm when I found out, but I'm happy I didn't, and we are now working on our marriage.
Stop working on it.
There's so much wrong with all of that.
Stop working on your marriage.
No, there are more people that will love you like that. Come on.
Not me personally, but other people.
Yeah, well, sure. I'm going to invest more time doing everything I can to make her happy. Have a beautiful New Year's, everyone, and I hope you have a beautiful day by listening to full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app, whatever that is, and search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit more to the story.
Let's hit it.
Edit. A lot of people are being unnecessarily rude and sending me messages calling me and my wife names. I want to clarify, I do not believe my wife would lie to me about a child. That's a monumental lie and something we couldn't recover from.
Yeah.
She knows that.
She wouldn't lie about a child. That's such a huge lie. She would just lie about cheating on me for months.
Yeah, that's why she's not going to let you find out about it because it would ruin your whole relationship.
Never gonna find out about it.
This is also the first and last time anything like this has ever happened with us. I don't think a paternity test is necessary due to the fact that they've only been together once, and that was a long time ago.
That she said.
Dude.
That's crazy. I don't think a paternity test is necessary because she told me that it wasn't. That's wild.
Crazy,
this man
dude.
is willfully ignorant.
Honestly, look at the evidence.
Yeah.
Look at the evidence.
Wow.
Her pregnancy correlates with the last time we had spicy sleep, and it makes sense. My wife wouldn't take advantage of me like that. She made a mistake, but she's not a bad
She's
person.
on you for months.
I made a lot of mistakes too that pushed her to cheat.
on.
No,
Come
not your fault.
on.
I'm not stupid, and I know how it looks, but I know my wife wouldn't just use me for my money. Lastly, my wife suggested that we both go no contact with my mother and ex, as it would be the easiest way to focus on each other and heal. This is so hard to read. Edit number 2, I changed my mind, and I've decided I'm going to talk to my wife about a paternity test tonight. Okay, great. That turned around so well.
So quick.
As people have stated that she shouldn't have a problem with that if it is my child.
True that. True that.
And that's the end of that story, dude. Yeah, that's like actually so wild. He's like, yeah,
Dude,
no.
yeah.
It's
I
like,
don't need it because she told me I didn't need it.
Right. And it's like, yeah. I mean, she was like hanging out with him, but they weren't doing
They weren't doing nothing because she told me they weren't doing
They
nothing.
just like to laugh and like talk and
That's
send
it.
each other's peepees
That's
out.
it.
That's all. They just have their peepees out. They're not doing anything with them.
No.
My stepmom banned my mother from my grandma's funeral.
Get out of here, Mom.
My father and mother were married for almost 30 years, but my dad started having an affair with my now stepmother a few years ago. When he first introduced me to her, she was super energetic and the kind of person that seems to be happy all the time. I didn't really know how to feel towards her, seeing how the whole relationship came about, but I love my dad, so I decided to respect their relationship. By the way, this comes from your Miklada on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Everything was going great until my dad started saying that his wife reminded him so much of me, 16-year-old girl at the time. Began to act younger when around me and just be strange altogether. Fast forward to when I got pregnant multiple years later. When I told my father and stepmother, they were overjoyed. My stepmother was begging to throw me a gender reveal party or even a baby shower. I said yes to a reveal, but once me and my partner looked at our schedules and pockets, we realized we should only throw a baby shower. I told her this, and she seemed very excited. She began calling me once a week to plan the event. I don't know if baby shower traditions are like this everywhere, but in my Bible Belt southern area, the women of the family all joined together and throw the shower for the mother-to-be. I was confused and overwhelmed by the fact that she was calling me so often about the planning. I told her that the planning aspect would be too much for me to handle in my state of pregnancy and suggested that she team up with my sister to plan going forward. They both agreed. It had been many weeks since I had heard any info about the shower until my sister called me while I was at work. When I answered, she was crying and telling me she didn't know what to do. When I got her to calm down, she explained that my stepmother had been pushing to use a country club with catering, a no smoking policy, a dress code, and a zero motorcycle policy. Context here, the majority of me and my partner's family smoke, and the dress code was basically dresses and slacks only. Also, my partner was part of a motorcycle group, which was also going to be making up part of the guest list. She knew all of these things, and my sister had tried to explain that this would not be the best idea, and my stepmother did not listen. My sister is very non-confrontational, so I decided to take this into my own hand. I contacted my stepmother and politely, yet firmly stated that I would not like to have my shower at the country club she had picked due to its rules being too constricting. Complained about the price of everything being too high to go anywhere else, and I redirected her to my uncle who could get a deal on a small venue that would be able to fit everyone on our guest list. The time for the shower is a month away, and I get a call from my father asking to come to my state to visit me. He lives in a different state than I do. I agree. When he takes me out to lunch, I can feel him probing me to see how I feel towards his wife. I answer them all with, I have no problem with her now that the planning has been fixed. She's doing a great job. I'm so grateful. Few hours into our visit, he then begins talking about how my stepmom is upset with me for not being grateful enough to her for throwing me the shower that she did not ask to do and that she feels taken advantage of. So this took me back a bit, so I explained how everything came about, and he told me I should apologize because she's been putting a lot of time and money into throwing me this shower. I didn't want to apologize because I didn't feel I had anything to apologize for. But upon further thinking, I decided it would be my best option. I wrote her a very long text message saying how happy I was that she was doing this for me, how I was sorry she felt taken advantage of, and explained how the stress of pregnancy has made me a little on edge. Told her how much I do care for her. She responded with saying that she accepts my apology and understands, but she thinks that I'm being a little controlling over her process. I did not respond. The shower ended up going great, and it was very beautiful. Everyone loved the venue I had suggested. A month later, my grandmother, her mother-in-law, passed away. Everyone was heartbroken. The funeral was in a different state than the one me and my father lived in, so we all had to make the trip to lay her to rest. I was 8 months pregnant at this time and was very worried about going into labor in another state, so I had talked with my dad and got permission to invite my mother to come with me to the funeral. When we were there, my mother was talking to family members she had not seen in a long time and having a good time catching up. My stepmom and dad stayed outside to greet guests. I was having a lot of pain in my feet from swelling and was sitting in the family designated area. My mom had come over and was rubbing my back, trying to see if she could do or get me anything to help with the uncomfortableness when the funeral director approached her and said, "Ma'am, the family has requested that you not be in the designated area. Please go back to your seat." Her seat being in the very back row. So then did you go, "Hey, I'm actually the family as well, and whoever said that, you can bring them to me"? That's what I would have said. And I would have said, "Don't go anywhere, Mom. Whoever told you that, go ahead and have them come over here. She is family. She's not going anywhere." So I was completely shocked. I immediately went to my sister and told her what had happened. She was upset and said we should not make a scene and maybe address it after the funeral was over. I agreed. Once the funeral started, the priest read some posts about my grandmother that were posted on Facebook, one of them being a very sweet tribute my mother wrote. When the priest was done reading it, my stepmother looked at my father and whisper yelled, "Sorry," as in to say, "Sorry, your ex-wife was mentioned."
Oh, wow. Dude, I bet this co-parenting situation has been interesting between the father, stepmother, and mother.
Once the memorial part of the funeral came to a close, we were all about to relocate to the gravesite, and my sister approached my father and his wife to let them know that she would be driving my mother home, which meant she would be coming to the family lunch festivities that were happening after the funeral was finished. My stepmother looked at her and said that she did not want my mother there because she is not family. My sister told her that that would mean that she could not come to the lunch because she would have to go ahead and drive my mother home. My stepmother said, "Well, I'm sorry, but no one wants her here. We all hate her." This made my sister very upset. And when she looked at my father, he looked very upset as well. Long story short, my mother did come to lunch and everything was fine. Our family all welcomed her and told her she will always be family, that no one hates her, and that they miss her. After this, my sister and I decided to go no contact for a little while. During this time, my stepmother continued to badmouth our mother to other family members and post about us indirectly on Facebook, insinuating that we are lower class than her for shunning her out.
Why are we doing this to Facebook? Why are we going to Facebook with this stuff?
Because she's just a
That's wild.
messy lady. My sister said she wanted to forgive her because it would make seeing our dad a lot easier, but I can't get over how she disrespected my mother as well as my grandmother at her own wake. So, friends, am I overreacting for going no contact with my stepmother? But I'll tell you what is a resounding yes. If you ask the question, are there full episodes with stories like this just waiting for me to listen to? There are.
Gee willikers, where could I ever find that?
On Spotify and iHeartRadio and wherever you listen to podcasts, period. Just search OK Storytime. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. They have been very validating to know how I've been feeling. After my child was born, I ended up having a very long conversation with my father explaining why I was upset and no longer speaking to her. He agreed that she was very out of line. He said that when he addressed things with her about the funeral, she was angry because, quote, in her culture, once someone is exiled from the family, you never speak to them again. This made me laugh, honestly. My father decided that he needed to take a step back in their relationship. My sister continues to speak to both of them, but had been having a feeling that his wife had been lying about her past. She and I went forward with a background check, and she has not actually done any of the life accomplishments she claims to have done and has been lying this entire time.
Oh, so we now have claims to a fun PowerPoint for Dad. Dad, we're going to have a PowerPoint night. We want you to come.
PowerPoint night. Everyone make a PowerPoint about whatever you want.
And you guys go first, so they put in a lot of work into a PowerPoint they're not going to be able to present.
Oh my God, yes. I loved your PowerPoint on why orchids are worth raising despite the challenges. Anyway, here's my PowerPoint on how your wife's life is a lie.
How your wife is a fraud.
Yeah. What to do when you have a fraud wife.
We
all know trad wife. Introducing fraud wife.
New series.
The person you're married to.
You could probably get a series out of that. There are definitely women married to people that are frauds.
Dude, fraud wife could be the next big reality show.
What do we do for husbands?
It's Love Island right now. But dude, we're still developing fraud wife. I will be staying in my no contact zone. It is my father's choice. Now, that is the end of that episode.
So she's just going to drop that and not even talk to him about it, and he has to deal with that on his own?
I mean, at that point, I think you go, hey, here's the information. Dad, we all know what you should do. You probably know what you should do.
Yeah.
But I still can't make that decision for you.
Yikes.
But yes, that
Ooh.
is the end of that. And I'm sure the end of their, fingers crossed, the end of their marriage.
I refuse to give my car to my stepdaughter. She didn't take it lightly. My husband and I have a 5-year-old son together, and he has an 18 female daughter, Sally, from his previous marriage. Sally is an entitled, manipulative young lady who has spent her entire life milking the child of divorce card in order to make her parents feel bad for her and give her everything she wanted. By the way, this comes from Status Silver 1772, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, as a result, she is now a lazy adult, has poor grades in school, no perspective, no job, and no desire to get a job or do something with her life. Although my husband and her bio mom are both responsible for how she turned out, instead of coming together and working towards helping her to do something, they prefer to blame each other, and they do everything they can to undermine the other one. For example, if my husband punishes Sally by not giving her spending money, her mom will immediately throw money at her. If her mom takes her car away as a punishment, my husband will immediately give her his car to use to go places. It's a very strange dynamic they have and very different from what he has with me. When I asked him why he's so different in terms of parenting my son with me versus Sally with her bio mom, he said, I am his wife, and I am a normal, sane woman who he can actually communicate with. Whatever, I feel like they are both wrong, but Sally is not my daughter, and I'm happy I don't have to spend too much time with her. Now that summer break has started, Sally is the most important problem in the world. Her car broke, and she needs one to use this summer to go places, meet her friends, go to parties, etc. Her mom is not willing to give her her car because she needs it to go to work. My husband needs his car to go to work, and neither of them is willing to buy her a new one. So Sally, the genius, found the perfect solution and asked me to give her one of my cars. To be clear, I have 2 cars, a big SUV that was given to me by my employer and a smaller one that I use when I go into town because it's easier to park. I refused and told her she can't use any of my cars. She insisted and said, I don't need 2 cars at the same time, but she needs one to get around. I told her she's free to use public transportation or get a job and buy one herself. Now Sally is going around to my husband's relatives complaining that I'm trying to exploit her and send her to work. I had a good laugh about this with my husband's sister, but my mother-in-law claims I could have just refused instead of telling her to get a job. I'm a little confused what's so bad about telling an adult to get a job. It's not like I sent a 12-year-old to work for her food or anything. And then some comments. Revolutionary Diet says, not the a-hole, hide your keys. Pleasant Ben says, ditto on the not the a-hole. Also make it clear to all that you will call the police if a car goes missing, and you'll tell them who took it. Boo Boo says, this OP because from what you've described, Sally wouldn't think twice about borrowing one of your cars. And if the SUV is a nicer vehicle, that is what she'll likely take, especially as her friends will all fit. Make it clear to both her and your husband that if either vehicle is ever missing, you will report it stolen. and press charges. Damascus says if you start getting messages from her family members about how you are trying to manipulate her into getting a job, you need to confirm that crap as clearly as possible. You are trying to make her get a job and will continue to do so as long as you can. You have the opportunity to erase some of the damage done by her two enabling parents. Do not be deterred. Opie says, the strange thing is that my husband agrees with me. Her mother totally hates me and is teaching her that everything I say is BS. My husband's sisters agree with me, and my mother-in-law babies her because she's in her first grandchild. Oh, because she is her first grandchild. But I feel like no one in this situation is doing her a favor. I'm not trying to manipulate her, but her situation is so different to what I'm used to or how I parent my own child that it's insane. Like, how can it be so horrible to teach an adult responsibility? To want to give her direction in life? I don't know what they can expect to do with her, honestly. They can't support her for the rest of her life. And it's sad because she's capable and a healthy adult. Even people with disabilities work and want to do something with their lives. So she has no excuse. And there is an update. But John, what do you have to say?
You know, she doesn't have to have your cars, you know, for sure. She's definitely not entitled to it, you know. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, go take public transportation. Or I feel like, honestly, having a spoiled kid use public transportation is also a very good experience for them.
Yeah, I think so. It's like,
very
okay,
healthy.
yeah, you're going to learn how this works. How, you know, that it's actually, you know, for the most part, unless you're in a more dangerous area, but like for the most part, very easy to use. But there's an update.
Let's do it.
The majority of you advise me to hide my car keys because Sally would most likely try to steal one of my cars when I am not home. You are not far from the truth because she oftentimes does this with her mother's car, meaning she will take the car when her mom is not home without asking her if she needs it later or ask for permission. So your advice makes a lot of sense. However, I refuse to do such a thing in my own home. I believe if I end up in a position where I have to hide my things in my own house, we'll have a bigger problem that needs to be solved. Also, where does this stop? Today I have to hide my car keys, later my money, later my purse? This is not the kind of life I want to have, and it never happened to me as a teenager/young adult. When I used to live with my parents, I knew where everything was. Car keys, money, documents, jewelry, etc. And I never took anything without asking. So after reading the comments, I decided to follow their advice, but in a less dramatic way. I sat my husband and his daughter down to have a chat. I made it clear in front of my husband that Sally insisted she uses one of my cars, and I do not agree with it. Then I told Sally that I know she sometimes takes her mother's car without asking, and warned her not to dare do something with my cars when I'm not home, because if she does, I will call the police and report the car stolen. She was shocked and asked me if I would stoop so low as to report her for stealing just for a car that I don't use or need anyways. I told her it's not me who would stoop so low, but her, because taking something that does not belong to you, especially after being told no, is the clear definition of stealing. She goes to one of the car dealerships. She's like, you're not even using this car. I just want to borrow it. You're not using it.
I just like want to use it. But I will say sometimes I'm like, God, parents, if we can just speak in a little less parent speak.
Yeah.
Like
speak to them as adults. Don't be like, you're going to jail.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
do that.
You know, it's just like a vibe of like the way that they articulate things. It's like, well, actually, you're the one stealing. Just like, look, I don't. These are my cars.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and like,
I'm not giving you them.
Yeah, I don't have to. You know.
Yeah. No, I'm not using them, but I don't want you to use them. So.
And that's it.
That's kind of it. So yes, I would report it. I think for the first time in her life, she understood there will be consequences for her actions, and she did not protest further. After this, I asked her to clarify in front of my husband how it is that me suggesting she gets a job makes me a person who tries to exploit her, based on what she told my mother-in-law and sister-in-law. My husband had no idea about it and just exploded. After hearing what happened, he told her it's good that we hear what she talks about behind our backs because he will give her even more reasons to complain. My husband told her she will not be seeing any money from him during this summer. Sally started crying and told me he can't do this. But my husband told her he can, and he will. His responsibility as her parent is to feed her, buy her clothes, and help her pay for school items. But that's it. She's an adult, and if she wants to party or see her friends, she should start paying for it herself, since she never appreciated anything she was given. By the way, you should appreciate how many full episodes of stories just like this you can listen to. 50 plus days worth of episodes. There's a
60.
little bit left to this story. But do you have any final thoughts? Parenting or otherwise?
Listen up.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Again, I just like, why can't we level with our kids?
Why
Like,
can't we level with them?
like listen up.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to use
I
my
just don't,
car.
like,
And
My parents have said that. I don't want you to drive my car. And I'm like, what? I don't want you to do. Okay.
like,
Yeah, it's the you ask them like 3 times, and the third time you're like, if they said no,
yeah.
you do like the puppy eyes, like the
Yeah, it doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
Doesn't
They're like,
work.
no.
They're
I'm
not
like,
gonna
okay,
answer.
all right,
Yeah.
I tried.
If you if your dad's on the phone and then you say, hey, can I borrow your car? And he still says no, he's not going to give you that car.
No.
Do you know how many things that you can get when your parents are on the phone and you ask them? So many things.
I was
Nah.
literally just about to say, like, I feel like Sophia was like the easiest child on planet Earth to parent because you're just like the perfect archetype of a child.
Yeah, where's Sam? Sam is like,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
The thing is that I think the problem is that I didn't do anything wrong in a big sense.
Yeah.
So I got in trouble for really small things.
You'd be a little bit sneaky here and there.
Give us an example.
Like the phone.
Oh yeah.
It's like a little bit sneaky.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing anything. So like I would get in a lot of trouble for like not doing the dishes. You know, like that would be
Interesting.
equivalent to like going out or sneaking out.
That's insane to me.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because I wasn't doing anything, so they had nothing to punish.
You got to let your kids think.
Yeah.
Let them go sneak out, and they think they're sneaking out, and then they're gonna have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah, but you
opinion.
know where they are. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
can't help.
See, my mom, instead of being like, oh, I'm chill with everything or whatever, my mom was just like, that's stupid. Like drinking? Stupid. And I was like, that is stupid. You're right. And then I just felt like I was better than everyone else for not to.
Nice.
So that also works. There's a little bit left to the story. Apparently, this is the hill my husband is willing to pass away on. And he even told his ex-wife about his plans, making it clear that if she wants to support Sally's activities this summer, she'll have to do it alone because he'll not contribute to anything that's not a necessity. So yeah, this is where we are at now. Sally stormed out of our house and of course went to her grandmother to complain. But I am waiting. If mother-in-law opens any discussions about it with me, I'll make it clear she's free to support Sally as much as she wants. We're not stopping her. Some comments. Beach Boy 442 says, good to hear spouse supports ya. Not always the case. Floofien Wifi says, obviously good talk. You use that shiny spine to good advantage. Limitless Megan says, a shame he waited until she was an adult to actually parent her. Great point, Limitless Megan. But hey, maybe him and his wife can actually get in the same bandwagon and make a dent in the child they collectively broke to get back at each other. I like you, Limitless Megan. Was that your name? Limitless Megan. Excellent point. Great job.
that was a great point.
And I agree, Limitless Megan. Yeah, that's not your stepdaughter's car, but like maybe we can all work together as parents to
No,
parent the kid.
we must have a cold war of parenting
Yeah.
where we spoil the kid endlessly until they're a freaking brat
Like,
as
God.
a proxy war of getting back at each other.
What a
that
nightmare.
makes everything worse.
What a nightmare to be that kid to be like, yeah, my parents hate each other, so I can just pit them against each other and get what I want from one of them. Like, you know that one of them is going to give you something because they hate the other one.
My mother-in-law isolated us from the family, so I walked away.
These boots are made for walking, and that's what they're gonna do.
My father-in-law is quite wealthy. He bids on beach houses during charity auctions, then writes them off. He's gotten 10 other houses before, but this is the first one that his 3 adult children were invited to. His wife, stepmother-in-law, was the other woman, and it is an open secret, though they've been married 20 years now. By the way, this comes from user Pretty with Dreads, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. She has 2 daughters, P and D. Let's go with Paul and Denise from a previous marriage who frequently are invited to the beach houses. Stepmother-in-law has a mindset of, that's your family, and this is mine, even though my husband was a preteen when they officially got together. It is not a blended family at all. For example, during the trip, she even went as far as telling my husband's niece, 8, that she got her a gift for her grandchildren. When the little girl asked, what about me? She replied, well, that's up to your mother to get. And here's what happened. I'm an introvert and a socially anxious person. But for the first 2 days, I was really trying and going out of my way to initiate dialogue with the stepmother-in-law and stepsisters-in-law. That is, until I kept hitting stone wall after stone wall because they wouldn't engage back. They would leave the pool or room within 5 to 10 minutes of us getting there. If they couldn't escape the room, they would remove themselves as much as possible. One time, dinner was called and I was the first one in the kitchen. So I sat at the table. The steps came up and all sat at the island without a word to me. If our kids would play, they would call their kids away from mine.
What?
This wasn't 1 or 2 times. It was so consistent and obvious. It wouldn't be a problematic play. At one point, my daughter, 7, was being chased by the 2-year-old while the 2-year-old tried to eat her with an alligator.
What?
The 2-year-old's eating her with an alligator.
It's like a toy alligator, right?
No, it's a real one. They're that rich.
No, a real alligator wouldn't actually attack people. A crocodile would. Alligators make sure that they're like, and that they live.
All fun. Paula called her over. Come get baby with that gator. Sometimes they call over the older one and whisper something, and the 6-year-old's whole demeanor would change. At one point, my 7-year-old autistic son pulled me aside because he thought the 2-year-old made a comment on his skin color. We both did like the...
Say it. Yeah.
OP is black, and my kids are biracial.
I knew it.
And...
I knew it.
Yeah. So he wanted to help talking about it with them. I explained to him that toddlers say stuff that sometimes don't make sense. She called him Tenderface, which he interpreted as Tinderface. It wasn't a big deal. My job is talking about stuff with kids. I was actually proud of him for coming to me about something that made him uncomfortable and not overreacting in the moment, which he typically does. So, I approached her mom to explain the situation and asked, "Do you know what this means?" She bent over in my son's face and said, "She's too, sweetie. You're reading into things," and walked away from the conversation. I was absolutely shocked. So, I started calling my kids when they were around the adults. I did not do this when they were around the children because I'm not a huge witch who wants to hurt kids. I use the same language they use, except once when I called my daughter in the room and told her not to ask them for anything. My 10-year-old son was in the kitchen eating breakfast with the stepmother-in-law, and the daughter's alone, so I went upstairs for him. Stepmother-in-law said that he was being wholly self-sufficient. I looked over, and he was on the couch alone eating a pastry, so I called him back into our room and thanked her for making the pastries. I missed a couple of meals. I didn't have dinner 2 nights. One night, I was dealing with my grandma in the hospital, and the other night, I was hanging out with a friend. There were a couple of lunches and breakfasts in there that my husband brought me the food down. But we were told those were going to be on our own whenever we wanted. They weren't communal meals. I will fully admit that I have food issues, physically and emotional, and don't eat well all the time, especially in public, and especially lunch and breakfast. My husband feeds me even if I don't ask him to because he worries sometimes. Good husband. I also had a few work calls and things to do during this week. I was elected board president, nice, during one of those calls. Almost every adult there had to do some sort of work during this week. My brother-in-law was incognito for 3 days because he had to do so much.
Oh, dang.
And now we're onto the fallout.
So everyone's like stretched thin here.
Everyone's busy and there's a lot going on. But back to what we were talking about with how the steps, we're going to call them the steps because it's the trio.
Yeah.
The daughters and the mother-in-law. It's definitely a race thing.
That's so insane that this is their own family.
The audacity.
Yeah.
The audacity.
Yeah.
It's clicking now, and maybe it does. Maybe it clicks for OP. Maybe it doesn't. But she's like, I noticed they don't want to talk to me, or I noticed they just.
Oh yeah.
They're just as far away as possible.
I mean, the fact that she mentioned all of that and mentioned everyone's ethnicity, it's very.
It's like the pieces
apparent.
are connected.
She
Yeah,
knows.
the puzzle is showing.
She knows.
Well, we're on to the fallout. The day before checkout, after her daughters left, she got very upset. We were told to eat leftovers, so sister-in-law and her husband started making leftovers and cutting up veggies. The 3-year-old was helping cut the veggies. So I said to him, "Whoa, what a spread you've done." Apparently this set her off. My sister-in-law saw her slap the crap out of her dad, and she packed up and left without saying bye to any kids.
For why? For what?
His kids talked to him and told him everything that I said here, but it got shrugged off as just because of timing. He had words for me, though. Apparently, I reject and avoid stepmother-in-law because I don't send thank you cards and missed meals. Nor do I ever say thank you. It was also a huge problem that I kept calling my kids away. You're doing it because she was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
When asked about the significance of a thank you card when I call you the same day or look you in the eyes with a genuine thank you, I was told it's a common courtesy that his children were raised to do. When asked why his son isn't getting talked to about it, then he just got quiet. When I mentioned how my children were actively being rejected and I wasn't going to allow that, he started talking about his wife's feelings, while openly acknowledging that she has a mine and yours mentality. When my husband brought up the fact that the other partners weren't always hanging out, he was told that there's a history of me skipping meal times and just doing activities. I do skip meals, and preference for socialization is over shared activities. He didn't mention how she never does activities with us or the kids outside of the house. I started thinking back to all the times I thanked her at the beach house, too. It was almost after every interaction. One of the first things I said to her was to thank her for inviting us. I was told to call and apologize? I'm not going to. I'm going to write a letter and have my therapist edit it to ensure the communication is open and gracious. But I don't feel the need to apologize. You don't need to. There's no reason for you to apologize, OP.
Yeah, if you're not sorry.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything wrong.
There's something to be
Fine.
sorry for.
Exactly.
I believe they're going to take the vacation opportunity from my children, but if that's what they choose to do, then F it. I think it's just all power. Again, we have an update,
Yeah.
but I think it's just all just stemming from power and just pompous, like, oh, we're the steps and you know, we get to do this, we have control, and like we deserve more respect. We deserve this more.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not about race, then it's definitely about family hierarchy and like all of that stuff. They're definitely not including these people into their family at all.
And they're kind of making it blatantly clear.
Oh,
But
yeah.
We do have an update. I requested that my husband write a letter to his dad and stepmother-in-law instead of me. He will also include a thank you card. I have asked him to include how he feels about not only how I was treated, but how his family has been treating us. By the way, you can treat us graciously,
Yep.
positively.
Yep.
You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search up OK Storytime. We have, over 65 days of content for you guys?
2,500 episodes or hours of content. Pretty much the same.
Just, you know what?
So many.
Just go search it up because we have so much for you to listen to. What do you think the outcome's going to be?
I think she's going to be like, well, what? Because I have done this and this and this for all of you people. I invited you over. You didn't say thank you, even though she did. And she's going to just play the victim and demand apologies and not change. And then they'll have to go low contact or no contact.
But let's go ahead and finish up the story. I also asked him to address the fact that he chooses not to write thank you cards. I want the letter to be in his voice, and it will show that we're a united front if he writes it. People often assume that I am the radical one and my husband is the subdued one, being led around. He just shares his actual feelings/opinions with a select few. I do believe the steps they're discriminatory and racist, because it's very obvious. Stepmother-in-law grew up with a mammy and keeps mammy's memorabilia. She hides it when I'm over, but I was warned. What does that mean? This dynamic has also been consistent since his dad and stepmom became official. I think it is a double whammy of racism and habit. This has been the dynamic for 2 decades. Who am I to refuse to engage? Type reaction. Yeah.
Okay, so a mammy is someone who did domestic work among nursing children. The fictionalized mammy character is often visualized as a dark-skinned woman with a motherly personality. It's a stereotype, basically.
Yeah.
It's an old stereotype of like
yeah.
I don't know, very like old culture when they did blackface and it was okay by the public.
The fact that, one, you were warned about this memorabilia and she keeps it, and then when you come around she hides it, she knows.
She knows.
She knows, and she does.
Yeah, like if that's something that you feel the need to hide for racism reasons, why would you keep it at all? Like if it's a grandmother's thing that was passed down, maybe look for something else that reminds you of your grandma.
We nailed it on the head, it seems like.
Yeah.
Again, it's both the hierarchy of the family
Yeah.
and blatant racism.
Yes.
But that's the end of that story.
Yeah, I just don't deal with these people.
Don't.
They're not worth your time and
yeah, it's
effort.
very disappointing.
And that just
And keep
sucks.
Yeah, because you don't want your kids around that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My stepbrother excluded us from his wedding because we disrespected his fiance.
He Uno reverse carded the disrespect.
For context, I, 21 female, have a stepbrother, 19 male, who I'll call Tristan, that has been dating his girlfriend, 18 female, I'll call her Heather, for about a year now. They met in high school when she was a junior and he was a senior. Throughout their relationship, my family and I have seen red flags from Heather. In the beginning, she seemed nice enough and we had no issues. This is until they were lying to my parents about her giving him rides home from school, hanging out, and, you know, the normal teenage things. By the way, this comes from Commercial Time 7518 from the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, a few months into their relationship, my parents caught them in adult activities in his room with the door open while all of us were home. Of course, arguing and yelling followed this, and she left. This was on top of them lying about being a couple, lying about her driving around and hanging out, him trying to sneak her in the house, and her having what I can only describe as a snobby attitude with my parents. Eventually, my parents banned her from our house, but told them what they do together outside of our house isn't their business. They told me this too when I was with my ex. This is where I figured he would dump her, as that was his usual pattern with his version of dating. Tristan was a very troubled child, to say the least. My stepmom and 2 stepbrothers moved in with my dad when I was about 10. I lived with my witch of a woman for a mother and her husband. They are a whole nother story on their own at the time, and visited my dad on the weekends. Now, I moved in with my dad and stepmom after I turned 18. In the first 2 years of me living with my family, he had dated at least 4 different girls to my knowledge, and they all ended the same way. He would get some adult action for a few weeks, get caught or bored, and then move on to the next. But for some reason, Heather was different. He won't even hang out with his friends if they're going to a place like a club or bar because Heather won't like it. Personally, as a girlfriend, if I trusted my partner, I wouldn't care. But I know everyone is different for different reasons. Tristan is not one to be walked on, as he has had so many fights with our parents, as he would do things like break into my room. It was so bad my dad put a lock on my door and it still didn't stop him. And steal my gaming console or tablet or sneak my stepmom's old phone or computer when we weren't home or sleeping. This behavior got better as we got older. Tristan was accepted early into the military before he even met Heather and had initially told her he wasn't sure how it would affect their relationship. This led to her screaming and crying about him not being able to promise they would be together forever and that she can't handle a long distance relationship. Surprise, apparently she can, because he has been in the military for over a year now and has been home maybe 4 times. Tristan even broke down crying talking to my dad about the situation with her because he didn't know what to do, and my dad told him that a good relationship should not make him feel this way. Remember when I said she was banned from the house? Well, my parents decided to be nice and let her come over for this past Christmas, as she doesn't care for either of her parents, and my brother had asked since it was Christmas. Well, my dad caught them in the act again when he went inside to get them so we could go look at Christmas lights like we do every year. Imagine that. The dad is like, hey guys, do you want to go for the Christmas? Oh my God. Oh, you guys. Like, oh my gosh.
You want to go see some Christmas lights?
Now, to the reason for this post. Tristan called the other night to tell us about his new job and that he is coming back home for a few days next week and wanted to maybe grab lunch or dinner the Thursday that he's here, as he will be getting in late Wednesday night. Our family conversation was normal until he casually mentioned him getting married, to which he actually said that he fricked up by saying it. Since he messed up already, he came clean and told us that him and Heather are getting married a week from this coming Saturday on a boat with her family that she hates and has no good relationships with. He never mentioned us being included in those plans. So my stepmom asked, and the conversation went something like this. What about us?
Well, I want you guys there, but Heather doesn't. She said it would ruin her plans, and she kind of feels disrespected by you guys.
Right. Well, anything to make her happy, I guess. Now, I know I'm on the younger side of this. However, I don't think that banning someone that has no respect for my parents in their own house and still giving them a second chance, which they failed again, to be respectful. And yes, I do put fault on my brother for those actions as well, and so do my parents. And encouraging him to go to a bar and hanging out with his friends where he is stationed instead of doing nothing and staying in his housing is so bad that you won't let your soon-to-be husband invite his own family to the wedding. Also, me and my grandmother and I, who is also our next door neighbor, have talked to this girl maybe 4 times.
the whole time that they were together and kept my comments to myself, so I'm not really sure what we did, but fine. My dad told him that it was unfortunate we weren't invited, especially because he told us that he wanted us there. But because he never told us, they have plans for a little vacation and I have to work, so we couldn't go even if he put his foot down on it. Dad told him that he's young and he needs to figure things out for himself, and we know that he won't listen to us since he never did before, and that while we don't want him to marry this girl, it's his decision and it won't stop us from picking up the phone when he calls or having him come home to visit. However, it will not stop the inevitable conversation we all need to have, my family, him, and his soon-to-be wife, if he truly wants to have us in his life, but she wants to exclude us because she feels this way. To this, my brother reluctantly agreed. As of now, my dad and I are over it since we already figured something like this would happen, and my stepmom is very upset, which makes me angry. I love her so much. She's the mom that I never would have thought I could have. Her oldest son also joined the military and eventually faded us out for some reason. I wasn't very close with him since he left when I was like 15 and I barely saw him anyway. So she won't see him getting married or meet his kids if he has them, and now the same thing is starting with Tristan. If and when we hear anything or see him, I may give an update if you would like. I've been angry for 2 days now, and guess what? There is an update. Do you have any quick thoughts?
Like, let's just all get along. Can't we all just decide to get along?
Get along. My bestie found my post and urged me to update since it has been a while. Unfortunately, there's not much that I can say as of now since we still have not heard from him and he's only posting his usual little memes on his social media. Although we haven't heard from him, we're taking the silence as they are now married and we have moved along with life and will be at the phone if and when he finally does call, since sometimes it's been a few months before he does call, being busy with relocations and all. So when the time comes, as comments have said, I will have my popcorn ready and a moving truck if I have to. My lovely grandma bet me $5 that they won't make it to 6 months, so maybe she will pay for my popcorn when the time comes. Well, that's all for now, and there is an edit. I just would like to address a few questions I have seen in the comments of this update as well as in the original post that I created. In the original post comments, I did relay that per my older stepbrother's absence, it was faded out after him joining the military, which spanned over about 2 years. He was traveling overseas a lot during those years. Unfortunately, as I did state in my original post, I did not know the entire story of my older stepbrother's relationship with my stepmom or other stepbrother, as I lived with my mother and only could visit my dad on the weekends. To my knowledge, there was not any issues, but he was very quiet and reserved, and he was 16 or 17 when they had moved in, so he was not truly around my dad and I for very long. And you can be around us for a very long time, because we've got full episodes with more stories just like this one on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. The main thing of my family not being invited was due to my brother actually telling my stepmom he wanted us there, but his now wife did not, although she does not talk to her own parents, but she invited them. My dad said after I had written my original post that he's pretty sure that the no invite thing was pretty much just for my parents, since me and my grandma have had maybe one full conversation with this girl. Also, he has not gone no contact with my family to my knowledge. As I have previously stated, it has happened a few times that we do not hear from him for a few months at a time due to him being in the military. As for my own feelings on this, I am supportive of my brother no matter what he has decided, and as one comment has said on this update, did take over on the little bet my grandma made, especially since it has been a month already. I love my brother very much and know he will continue with his decision for as long as he can. Given his thieving habits that did not break until his senior year of high school, which was like a year or two ago, and that fighting him on it would only make him double down more. And that's the end of that story. Oh my gosh.
All you can do in these situations, like I've been told before where it's like, oh my God, you got to talk to so-and-so because they're going to marry so-and-so. And I'm like, what do you want me to say?
Right. Like, what am I going to do about it?
He'll be like, you so much. Now I'm totally not going to marry this person. Yeah, right. He's going to go, oh, well, I really wish you didn't say that to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to get married. I guess you don't want to go to the wedding?
Right.
Like, what? Like, come on. Just be happy for people and wish them the best.
My husband's cousin keeps insulting me. It's driving me crazy.
Insult them back.
It's time. I, 31 female, had a breakdown at my husband's family's New Year's Eve and attacked his step-cousin.
Wait, what?
Now, I'm ashamed to look at my in-laws. By the way, this comes from Zumode Limoncito 13. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I'm 31 female Colombian married to a 40-year-old man. My husband is British and his stepfather is a Moroccan man. We live in Colombia, but every year we and our kids travel to the UK to spend New Year's Eve with his family. I've been with my husband for nearly 8 years. He was raised by his stepfather, and he is the only father he ever knew. My father-in-law is a great man with a big family, but since I started dating my SO, his step-cousin, let's call her Amira, has been nothing but hostile and cruel. She is always antagonizing me, talking about how I'm with my husband because he's from a superior race?
What? What is your husband doing that? I'm sorry. If anyone ever said anything to like that to a friend or just anyone, but like if I'm hearing that, I'm saying get out and don't let me ever see you ever again.
We don't know if this was said like behind closed doors or in like a quiet moment.
Yeah.
Maybe OP's just like, I'm not even going to like give her, I'm not going to make a big deal out of that because I'm not even going to give her power in this moment. But let's keep reading. She would say how my husband's only with me because of my money and calling me various slurs. Nice. I'm a mix of Turkish, Brazilian, and Colombian heritage. She likes to point to her and his pure blood.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Ow. I'd be like, yeah, hey, husband, I don't want to ever be around your racist cousin because they're racist every time we go over and see them.
For years, everyone in the family has fought with her about it. Sadly, my in-laws are her guardians since she has no parents, so I have to meet her every time we meet them. About 5 years ago, after years of fighting, I was formally diagnosed with autism and bipolar disorder. The last one is a family thing. Since then, I've been using specific medication along with the therapy I already had to manage it. With both of my disorders, I've always had some triggers. Too many people, fireworks for an extended period, certain foods and fabrics, and loud, scratchy sounds. I've adapted myself to many things and can navigate well. Since the day we arrived, however, Amira has been extremely hostile. My sister-in-law said that she recently ended a relationship and she's aggressive towards everyone, but it's been extreme. Why are we hanging out with her?
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Hopefully we'll get some information on why this person is tolerated to this level, for God's sakes. So it's been extreme. She accidentally, and I'm going to put air quotes around that, broke my favorite perfume, threatened to cut my daughter's hair when she wouldn't let Amira touch it, and constantly played spider tricks on my eldest son? Spider trick? Spider trick. What is that? What is it? My husband, mother-in-law, and father-in-law spoke to Amira several times. On the 31st, New Year's Eve, as usual, my in-laws threw a big party. I wore a white dress matching my family. We were enjoying ourselves until my sister-in-law realized Amira was wasted well before midnight. She looked at me and started saying that she couldn't believe that her cousin married a Latin witch, that I was a vulgar woman, that he was only with me for my money, and that he should leave me and be with a real woman. That it was a disgrace for the family that he had children with someone from my race. So, all of you are bad now.
Yeah.
For not just kicking Amira out.
Yeah. I honestly, at a certain point, even if you are like, oh, like we always tell her off. We always say like, you can't say that. Even if you're doing that, if you continue to invite a person who you know is racist and who verbally attacks a person in your family who is of a different race, then you are the a-hole.
Right.
You're the a-hole. You invited her. I don't care if you're saying, hey, Amira, you can't say that. You keep inviting her.
I hate this woman.
Yeah, she sucks. No.
And husband, if you don't get active, I'm going to hate you too.
I already hate him a little bit.
I burst into tears and she started laughing. I don't know what came over me, but I've put up with her abuse for years. And she talked about my children. I snapped. I hit her and my husband and father-in-law had to separate us. I ran to my room and locked myself in. I've been here ever since, but I can't even look at my children. I feel awful. I'm not a bad person, but I exploded in front of everyone. How do I get over it? We have an edit for clarification. First of all, my husband did defend me. Okay. And his parents and sister also. Our yearly vacation to his family's country is something that is important to me too. Amira's case is a bit more complicated. She was orphaned of her father early, and her mother sent her to my father-in-law. She was always a very problematic girl. I do believe she likes my husband, or at least what he represents, stability and money, and also a paternal figure. She never was this constant in offending me, but I think her breakup has made her more snappy and dangerous. She also has a drinking problem. When she started, my mother-in-law took her to the other room and reprimanded her, but she came back later and then I snapped. I thwacked her and shoved her on the floor. Justified crash out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
years of
the
this
thing is,
you've
like,
endured.
you know, we're always saying, we don't condone violence.
We don't.
But when you say racist crap, expect to get hit. You can't just get away with saying crazy
Right.
stuff and think there's got to be no consequences.
When you poke the bear with a stick, you
And it
can't be
bites ya.
surprised when it mauls
Yeah,
you.
come on.
They know that if they stop supporting or they kick her out and they just let her go and they stop helping her and supporting her because of her behavior, that she's going to absolutely like fall off the cliff. Like her life, she's going to
Sure.
be destitute. She's going to be, and it's like now they feel they can't be responsible for putting her in that position.
No, and
that's where this is coming
I think
from.
that's probably, I mean, that's why she has guardians and she's 25 probably. But the thing is, they don't need to invite these people, or at least her, to every family thing.
Right. No, it's
You know?
as soon as it's like,
why?
get out. I felt ashamed because in all those years, no one, not even my husband, had seen me snap. When I was a teenager, I let my anger out sometimes and had very intense reactions, and today I know it was from my bipolar disorder. Also, even today, I'm afraid of any big emotion. Too much anger or happiness or sadness. I'm scared because I don't know if I will know how to deal with those feelings. So to finally snap was something serious. She could talk about me all she wants. I know how to defend myself, but she came after my children. As for my family, I finally got out of my bedroom. I've been refusing to talk to anyone, but now I told my hubby that me and the children are going home. He says he will come too. My father-in-law asked for a family reunion. I don't know, dude, but Amira better not be there.
Yeah, I think you have to put your foot down and say that one, she threatened to cut my child's hair off. We would love to see you guys, but not going anywhere where Amira is.
She can say all the vicious stuff about me she wants. She was saying stuff about my kids.
Yeah.
Nope, about your grandkids.
Yeah.
My husband is currently looking for tickets to Bogota. Apparently, we won't be able to get them until tomorrow or Friday, but until then, we're staying in a hotel. I haven't seen Amira yet, and God knows it's for the best. I made him read all of your comments, especially about the lack of action, and he was very disappointed in himself. It was an admission of guilt, and he sees now how he failed me and our family.
Good.
Well, thank God. Our children are 5 and 3. Our little girl told him how Aunt Amira said she was going to cut her hair because ugly girls don't deserve to have long hair. My daughter has blonde hair like my mom, very straight and long. My son told us that she said my husband was leaving and she was going to throw them both out. God knows if they'd told me that before, that woman wouldn't be breathing. We talked for a long time. I set my limits. We're going home on the first flight. We'll stay in a hotel until then. I don't want to see his cousin ever again. And I won't apologize. And I refuse to have contact or let my children have contact with my in-laws if Amira continues to be treated like a child without limits. Fair.
Yeah.
All of
I
that
agree.
was fully fair.
Yep.
Comments. Comment number 1. Is your husband stupid or something? Did he defend you at all? Why did he let his family member berate you so loudly? The very first time she insulted you, he should have said something or you both should have left. And what in the world of Harry Potter magic verse is this? Pure blood? What are you, a mud blood? And you've been putting up with this for years while your husband and in-laws made anemic noises at Amira? Not on. First of all, you were not at fault by a very long mile, by a country mile. You have been more graceful in the handling of this than any vile would deserve. Secondly, it was your husband's responsibility to stand up and step in front of you when his cousin started spewing such filth, and he didn't. Your in-laws let their ward insult their daughter-in-law for years. These are the people that ought to be ashamed, for they have much to answer for. You deserve better. OP, she says it's because I'm a daughter of a Brazilian mom and a Colombian/Turkish dad. She says my blood is way too mixed, and there's an update.
Yeah, well, we already know that Amira is insane.
We don't have to care what this idiot thinks about anything.
Yeah, like literally doesn't like block her out. The problem, Amira obviously is an insane, horrible person. Put her to the side. If we want to fix the situation, we talk to the sane people in the story and say, husband, why have we been going around this person?
My family and I are in a hotel. Tomorrow we're going to Bogota, and last night we had a family reunion. When Amira calmed down, my in-laws talked to her. Again, she repeated her statements, and she said that I was just as flawed as she is, but that life had treated me well and given me everything on a silver platter. Amira also said that my husband shouldn't have married me, nor should he have had children, because it was obvious they would be like me. My mother-in-law then asked who he should have married. She said that if he wanted to rescue someone so badly, it could have been her. She would have appreciated the help.
Like, it would have been nice if he married me. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Just like when people say the most pathetic thing you've ever heard, like, do they not feel it at all? Back at the meeting, a few points were raised. My children and I will preserve ourselves. If Amira stays in the house, we won't come.
Yep, good.
At this point, my in-laws have told me that they've already started the process to have Amira reevaluated and possibly hospitalized.
Yeah.
Look, I was going to make a joke earlier about maybe, if we could put one person in a sanitarium and just that one person, it should be her. Because sanitariums are awful. And that's why they don't exist anymore, because they were criminal.
The thing is, I think she is severely mentally ill.
Yeah,
I
she
think
needs an inpatient facility.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is like, you see, like, for example, you have a very famous singer who spouts crazy things and people just let him say it. But it's like, that person needs medication. That person should not, like, why are we, like, uplifting that person instead of, instead of, like, putting them in a place where they cannot hurt themselves or others. This is, she needs mental help.
So if Amira stays in the house, well, we won't come. At this point, my in-laws have told me that they've already started the process to have Amira reevaluated and possibly hospitalized. My sister-in-law has been collecting evidence of her behavior, and according to the therapist, she has a good chance of becoming a patient in a sanatorium.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute! Those aren't real though, right? They're done. Wait, they have those in the UK?
Well, can you specify exactly what a sanatorium is?
So, like, a sanatorium is like basically.
I think I know what it is. I want to make sure.
Am I right, or was it where they put like quote unquote criminally insane people?
I thought a sanatorium was
like
like
in America.
I thought it was just kind of like a place like where mental patients, but they like live and it's.
It was like back in the day, if you like were having like a full blown breakdown in the street, like in your underwear, going like a van would pull up and take you, and like just you'd be in the sanitarium.
Well, maybe it's like that, but it's a little bit nicer now. It's more like a senior home.
I'm sure that wherever they are, there's definitely a lot of laws and regulations and rules that keep them okay. Because in America, they got really bad.
What's frustrating to me is the fact that we're now learning that this woman, again, has severe mental issues is crazy to me. Like, these people around her have not done her any service by not speaking up. And also have not done OP any service for having to put up with all of this hatred.
But this process could take up to 2 months. It will be a good private institution with excellent staff. When she's discharged, the plan is to send her to live in Morocco with her paternal aunt and her husband. They live in a rural area, can afford it, and have no children. Amira will no longer have contact with England when she goes to live there. Unfortunately, even though they raised her, they think that a sudden break in contact will be less painful. And by the way, you never have to break contact with us, because you can just go listen to full episodes with stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, really wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and then you can listen to the full archive of our episodes. There's over 2,000 of them. Yes, so we do have a little bit more story left. I think we're all in agreement here. Let's finish the story. My husband and I also talked. I told him how much I resented the fact that he no longer protected me. He apologized again. He said that like everyone else, he ended up being too lenient with his cousin, but he wants to make amends. The whole family is going to go through counseling, and I'm going to find a professional for him in Colombia too. I'm also going to find out about couples counseling and a child therapist for my children.
Why do you have to find it? Why can't he find it?
Because he's incompetent.
Yeah, that's
and
clear.
that is the end of that story.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I think still my advice for you, OP, in the future is you are very right to feel frustrated and angry that your husband and your family members did not stand up for you. But also, like, don't put up with that, you know? Make that known before you get to the point where you're pushing people.
Well, I think she had. It's been years.
I know. And
it was
if
always-
you go
but-
to your husband and say, hey, I don't want to ever be around this person, and he's like, well, I don't care. I'm going to be around her, and you have to be around her too, then it's like, this relationship is not working out.
I don't think, because she had said in the story, she's like, she could say whatever she wants to me. I don't care. But once the kids got brought into it,
Yeah.
then it was like, oh, Mama Bear.
This is
Mama-
not like
Mama
OP
Grizzly
did
Bear.
anything wrong.
Ooh.
I just think that, like, definitely,
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
hide your
there's-
thoughts
yeah.
or feelings.
Exactly.
My mother made me wear a white dress to my father's wedding.
Getting married to your dad?
My 18 female at the time, 30-ish now, dad was getting married to my stepmom, Andrea, around 2012 when I had just started university. I'd moved away from home to a neighboring city about 2 hours away, but was 100% on board with them getting married and excited to come home for the engagement party, wedding, etc. I didn't see them so often, but she was very nice. They had been together for years since my parents separated when I was around 13 and had 2 young children at the time, 5 male and 3 female, who I am now thrilled to call my brother and sister. By the way, this comes from a separate repair 3752 on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. My stepmom has always been very kind to me and would have gone out of her way to help, given that at the time I was my dad's only child. She helped me out of a few sticky situations. I was 14 to 17 at this time. Honestly, I saw her as a less responsible version of my mom who was trying to win favor with her new partner's kid. For example, letting me have parties, boys over when I stay there, etc. When I moved away for uni, my little brother was around 4 and I tried to stay in touch as best I could. To my knowledge, my parents separated pretty amicably and I knew I could come back to my hometown and stay with either of them and feel loved and welcome. So it's 2013 now, and I and my boyfriend at the time, Jake, got an invite to my dad's wedding. Not only a chance to celebrate my dad and his family, but for Jake to come to my hometown and meet my mom's family as well, which at this time he had never had the chance to, as we had only been dating a few months. We were both excited. Being 18 and fairly grungy, I didn't have anything really to wear for dad's wedding. I wasn't asked to be a bridesmaid, but that was totally cool as my 3-year-old sister and small cousins were all appointed with her sister as maid of honor. Me and stepmom weren't so close at the time, so it didn't feel like a snub. For context, I think if it happened now, she would have liked me to be more involved. I'm quite a last minute person, so when I got home a few days before the wedding, I asked my mom to come shopping with me and help me find something appropriate. We went through a few shops until I found a beautiful silver dress with beige/gray lace sleeves and inlay faux diamonds that fit me perfectly and I felt beautiful in. It was ankle length so I could wear chunky black wedges. 2010 girls know the ones. And the dress had a really high toil neckline, like a low turtleneck. I will try and attach a picture, but I was trying for Florence and the Machine vibes at the time. It was so expensive, probably about a month's rent at the time. My mom offered to pay because she could see, number 1, how nice it looked on me, and 2, how nice it made me feel. Like a little forest nymph. I'm a tall girly with my chunky wedges on, so I would have been taller than all of my extended family in the wedding. So definitely would have stood out. Happy with my dress choice, I came home and prepared to attend the wedding. Jake had been gifted a light blue shirt from my grandma that belonged to my late grandpa to wear, as he also wasn't particularly prepared. It felt nice for him to wear that, as my grandpa had given my mom away at her wedding to my dad. Again, no snubbing, just a nice continuation of tradition and general love. We called it the something blue. My dad was close with grandma and grandpa when I grew up. It was nice for me personally to feel like something from that era and that side of the family was there on the day, even if my dad didn't know, that type of thing. The day of the wedding comes. I have silvery hair with daisies picked from my garden like a crown. We were a bit hippie-ish, so that was okay. I'm wearing my beautiful flowy dress with nice makeup and I feel lovely. My mom took photos of me and Jake in the garden by
the flower bed, almost like it was prom. I didn't go to mine, so she may have been trying to recoup. But basically, we looked great. It's a June wedding and the weather is beautiful. This bit isn't particularly interesting, but will be important later. We go to the church ceremony. It goes without a hitch. We take photos outside in the beautiful sunshine in the countryside. Amazing. We get to the reception at a nearby hotel. It's a grand hall near the sea where the reception is going to be held, and my out-of-town family are staying. My mom lives about 15 minutes away by car, so Jake and I are staying there afterwards. My dad's best friend, who had been best man in my mom's wedding, gets up to make his speech. It's all, welcome back, everyone. Buy one, get one free. 2 for 1 at the bar jokes. Basically joking about it being my dad's second wedding. Funny, not funny, but okay. Then he starts saying some slightly worse stuff, likening my mom to a dog and so on.
Oh.
Yikes. Everyone was laughing and sort of looking at me to gauge my reaction. I composed myself and waited till everyone got up to toast, grabbed Jake, and left. 18 plus is legal drinking age where we are. I had had a few glasses of champagne, but thought back on how my mom had helped me pick out a dress for her ex-husband's wedding only a few days ago and paid only to be disrespected like that by people who she thought were her family friends. Dad's family, but her in-laws for 20 plus years, and people she considered her extended friends and family, especially through me, as I was the only grandchild on both sides until I was about 12. I went back to my mom's and my childhood home that I had grown up in with both my mom and dad, had a cry, got over it relatively quickly, probably just pushed it aside as my mom was asking if we had had a nice time, how was the day, blah, blah, blah. I told her it was a great day, and I was happy to have supported dad and Andrea, and thanked her for her help as I felt lovely in my dress. A few days go by, and no one from my dad's side, including dad, reached out to see where I had gone or if I was okay, as I assumed they felt awkward. I went back to uni in the neighboring city a day or two later. A month or so goes by, and it's all but forgotten in my mind as I'm busy with school and my part-time job. Wedding photos get posted on Andrea's Facebook page. Not in any of them. No big deal. She only posted a few select ones of her and my dad and their kids. Not the whole album or anything. It gets to Christmas, and I go home to see everyone. When I get to my dad's, he has the same few photos framed above the fireplace. Again, no me. Again, no big deal. I ask off the cuff to see the wedding photo album. They are a bit weird about it. I thought at the time that it was because Jake and I had broken up since then, and he was in some of the pictures. Whatever. I'm 18. I don't care enough to pry. But what I care about is if you guys go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes with more stories just like this one. I care so much about it. Please do it.
I hate it when people do this.
Yeah.
Clearly, at the wedding, OP was uncomfortable about the comments that were made about their mom. And instead of just being like, okay, that's weird, I didn't like that, I find that personally to be maybe across the line. And instead of being like, hey, dad, you know that's still my mom, instead of talking about it, what did we do? We left.
Yeah.
We exited the game. And now it's weird.
Yeah.
Because you just left. You should have spoken your mind, but you were 18 at the time. Very, very normal thing to just leave when you're 18. You're not used to confronting your parents.
Right.
But.
And maybe Sheila just like felt awkward because it was like, I didn't want to ruin the day of. But like, we've got some time to talk about it for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to get up on a soapbox and be like, everybody,
hey, I object.
Stop saying stuff about my mom. You just
Yeah.
need to be like, hey, dad, that was, I'm her daughter. She actually bought my dress.
Yeah. By the way, I'm 18 at this point and didn't know wearing white or off-white to a wedding is bad. By now, I've been to 2 weddings in my life when I was 3 and 8, and bridezillas didn't exist.
Well, not for 3 and 8-year-olds.
Yeah, I'm sure they existed, but they just didn't have that name yet.
Yeah, you'd have to be Bride Godzilla to be mad at the 3-year-old at the wedding.
Right. Of course, I would never do that now. Basically, I later found out that Andrea was pregnant with a little brother around the time of my mom and dad's separation, and therefore probably the cause. I keep wondering if my mom purposefully put me in that dress to have with Andrea one last time, and maybe Andrea thought that I was in on it and a total witch, and that's why I'm not in any wedding photos. I don't think I'm completely the a-hole because I was oblivious, but should I have known? FYI, I have seen one wedding photo of me that my aunt had that was on her phone rather than from the wedding photographer, and this is a public service announcement. A gray beige diamond encrusted lace sleeved ankle length dress looks completely white in the sun. A 5'11" girl in it looks like the bride. Do not wear white to a wedding. And that is the end of that story. Yeah, it's lace too and diamond encrusted.
I remember
Dang,
at
man.
the beginning of the story, it was like lace and diamond encrusted, and I'm thinking like, buying a wedding dress?
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
sounds like the bride's dress.
Right.
My stepdaughter has no problem crossing my boundaries.
Maybe make them a little firmer.
2 hands.
Stiff arm.
So recently, my 29-year-old stepdaughter moved back in with my husband and me. Before she moved back in with us, she stayed at our house while we were on a trip. While we returned from the trip, I found things in our ensuite bathroom in the wrong place. When I went to get clean towels, there were towels in the wrong place. I knew that my stepdaughter had used our ensuite shower and our towels. I just made a mental note of items out of place, but didn't say anything. A few months later, she confessed that she had used the shower. I said that I already knew this because I found things out of place. She insisted that she put everything back in place, and my husband kind of gave me a dirty look. By the way, this comes from user Citronade Rose, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, yes, there is a full hall bath that she normally uses. It is directly across the hall from her bedroom door. She moved back in with us sooner than expected, so we still had a few things in the room that is now her bedroom. One day while she was at work, I did not have a lot to do, so I went into the room and removed our remaining items. I truly felt like I was doing a kind thing for her because it would give her more space and allow her to organize her belongings better. She got upset and set a boundary that we should not go into her room without her prior permission. It's definitely fair for her to set a boundary that we should not go into her room without asking, but I had a specific reason and wanted to surprise her. Nevertheless, I apologized and said I would clear it next time. I was reflecting on these incidents this morning and found it ironic that it was okay for her to use our shower and our towels, but not okay for me to go remove our things from her room. I feel like just communicate. Like, we're adults here.
Are we? How old is... What are
did-
the ages? Do we have the ages of the stepdaughter?
29-year-old stepdaughter. We are adults here.
Yeah, this does just need to be like, come on, let's not... We're power playing. We just need to be equals.
My husband and I are about to take a short trip. I would prefer that she not use our shower, so I am considering locking the door to the primary suite. I do feel like my husband has a little bit of a problem setting boundaries with the young adults, so I think he would be upset with me if I did this. I feel like what's fair is fair. It's fair to ask us not to enter her room, and I think it's fair that she should not use our shower. So, would I be the a-hole if I lock the door and don't mention to either of them? Yeah.
What?
That was...
What
yeah.
are you talking about? Why would you do this? Where did that come from? I'm genuinely confused about where did that come from?
She doesn't want... So they're going on a short trip. Their husband, OP and her husband.
Right.
And they're leaving the house with the stepdaughter.
Uh-huh.
And they just don't want her to use the bath, their ensuite shower again. And she just wants to lock the door.
I mean, stop it. Stop it. Just speak to each other. What are you talking about? You say, can you not use my shower while I'm gone? Thanks. Don't lock the door like she's a criminal. It's like, and then if you notice she used her shower, you have another conversation and say, hey, I find it very disrespectful that you used my shower when I specifically asked you not to. So I'm going to start locking that door from now on.
Thank you. Yeah. I took the words right out of my mouth. Like, if this is another thing of trust, why would you lock the door now? See if she does it again. If she does it again, then you have the conversation. If she doesn't do it, then there's no need. She understands the boundary that you're setting, and then that means you can respect her boundaries while she respects yours. Problem was solved.
Yeah.
And we have some relevant comments. And let's just dive right into it. Commenter number 1. Is there a reason you can't have a conversation with her and let her know you understand her requests and expect the same respect? Like we said? Locking the door without having a conversation like the adults you are would make you the a-hole. OP says, thanks for your feedback. I'm very conflict avoidant, but do need to try. A downloaded commenter says, everyone sucks here. Ask yourself, is it really worth a move of pettiness and dealing with the fallout with the husband afterwards? One question I would like to ask is why the stepdaughter used your shower. That part seems to be omitted. OP says no reason except she wanted to. She has another bathroom across the hall. Why did she try to put everything back in the same place as if she hadn't used the bathroom? Commenter 2, yes, put a lock on your door. The only way she'll ever find out is if she tries to open it, which, in her own words, would be crossing a boundary. If you don't give her permission, she has no right to be in your room. Not the a-hole. Commenter 3.
We're like 14-year-olds. Why?
I understand the privacy. Some people, hey, like I said, some people just don't want them in our room.
It's just what I get that, but where's the conversation? It's killing me.
Commenter 3, I don't understand why an almost 30-year-old would want to go and use her parents' bathroom when she has her own. I'm sure it's probably a nicer bathroom, but who cares? Lock your private part of your house and tell her not to use your bathroom. Even if she didn't move things around, I wouldn't want anyone using my bathroom. And there is an update. It's titled Locked Bedroom. So you lock the bedroom. And this is 8 days later. I did read the comments, and some of you asked a few questions. So here are those answers. No, this is not my stepdaughter's childhood home. Her father and I bought it when she was 18. Her father and I met 2 years after his first marriage ended in divorce. He and I have been together more than 20 years. On with the update. I did talk with my husband before we went away. He agreed that it was completely reasonable to expect our bedroom and bathroom to be private and that the boundaries should be equal on all sides. I asked him to discuss it with my stepdaughter, and he did let her know that she shouldn't go into our bed and bath without permission. Nevertheless, I did listen to everyone here who said to lock the door when we left for the trip. My stepson was ending a vacation with his stepfather's family and starting a week with us, but his arrival date was on Saturday evening before we returned. I always take the time to set up everything for my guests. That includes leaving clean towels specifically for them. I placed a couple body and hand towels on the guest bed. The bedding is dark blue and the towels are white, so they would be obvious. Also, my stepson takes a shower every single day, usually in the late afternoon. It's important to remember this and that he arrived Saturday.
This is not important at all, actually, because we're just talking about your stepchildren taking a shower.
We'll see.
I'm just, where's like the, and like something was stolen, or like there was a huge mess, or like something was ruined. Like, I understand that it's your bedroom and it's your private space, but the way you are going about this, like you are a teenager, is making me have little sympathy for you.
It's about personal space. That's what it is.
I feel like this is just a disguise for I don't like my stepdaughter. I don't like her.
I don't think so.
Because if I just liked my stepdaughter and she wanted to use my bathroom, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you put everything back exactly where it was last time, so it's not like it's an issue. You can use the shower, not while I'm using it. Like, what are we talking about?
Personally, again, like I said, I see both sides, but like,
I do too, but I really think that the way they're communicating is what's making me like, so like, I don't care. It's like, if you just can't have a conversation about it, then I don't have any sympathy for you. And you're acting like the child in this situation because you won't talk. Even if your like principle is correct, it doesn't matter.
But you do know what matters? You right there, joining us and listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Going to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and looking up OK Storytime. I think we're on 66 days now.
Who knows? We're just creeping closer and closer to the funny number.
I mean, I like Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
Yeah, there's a little bit left. On Monday morning, my husband asked if I had locked our bedroom door. I said that I did lock it, and he asked why. He said that my stepdaughter had been looking for towels to give to our stepson. So I simply replied that I had left towels on the guest bed for him. My husband softly said, "Oh." I'm letting my husband handle the issue of her trying to enter our room without permission, and that stepdaughter made an excuse to justify that. I will always lock the bedroom door when we're away as long as stepdaughter is living with us. And we have some relevant comments. Commenter 1, not the a-hole. She wants you to respect her space in your house, but doesn't want to respect yours. That's a problem for your husband to handle or a family meeting. Opie says, I'm happy to let him be the bad guy. No.
Who's the bad guy?
The dad. Like handling it like,
talking about a shower. It's what are we where like this is God. There's so much more to this dynamic.
I
we
feel
are
like
not
there is more
hearing.
layers now.
Like this, something else is underneath this that we're not getting. I'm standing on that.
And then OP on keeping extra towels in accessible linen closets. OP says, I will look in the linen closet, any cabinets in the hall bathroom, and not in other bedrooms. We have a linen closet and a second hall closet. I keep extra towels in the linen closet. Commenter 2 says, I don't know what the stepdaughter's situation is as to why she had to move in with you, but it sounds like it'd be better if she moved back out since she has no respect for boundaries. Plus, she's a full-grown adult. OP says, she has a high school diploma, the story goes deeper, and doesn't earn a lot of money. She's had trouble keeping jobs and also has problems keeping friends. Bio mom refuses to cooperate with diagnosis and treatment during childhood, so here we are. Commenter 3 says, honey, she is almost 30. Her choices are her choices. I was a slow to launch adult, and it wasn't until I was forced to stand for myself that I actually did. It's sink or swim time. OP states, that's fair. She finally says she's going to get diagnosed, but we'll see. And yeah, it's just more of the towel talk with the commenters. So it did seem like, again, stepdaughter tried to go in the bedroom for no reason. I feel like you just have a full-on confrontation. Like, why are you using our bathroom?
Well, I just wonder, like, clearly there's 20 years worth of history here that we're not getting. And I wonder if there's a reason why stepdaughter was like, can you not go into my room because of maybe something that's happened before? Because I really, really hated the way that she just went, she has a high school diploma, more to this story. It's like, did you really just dunk on her for graduating high school?
There seems like we're missing a little bit of context between the relationship of stepdaughter and OP in general, but that's not the case in point here. The case in point is the story that we read.
I just don't think they like each other.
The stepdaughter is trying to go in their bathroom, and I would have been like, why are you trying to use my bathroom? You have your own. That's like, again, you got caught.
I think, there could be something about like, I don't want her in the bedroom because she's going to steal something, or I don't want it. It's just not being said. There is something underneath this nonsense.
I don't know. I think you're digging a little bit deeper than it should.
Maybe OP's like, this is my shower, but then stepdaughter's like, this is my dad's shower. Why would I need to ask to use my dad's shower? It's like, it's my father. Like, there is a level of unreasonableness from both sides.
Yeah, I agree on that.
To not just be like, okay, cool. Oh, you just like using our shower way better because we have a better shower, or whatever it is. This is all just so dumb.
Yeah.
I refuse to take in my stepsister, even if it would help her.
You don't need to.
When I, now 29 female, was 14, it came out that my dad had been living a whole secret life behind his wife and my mom's back. One where he had a 1-year-old daughter who is now 16 with his employee.
What?
Practice family.
What?
Back then, it was a huge deal.
I feel like it's a huge deal now.
My brother, now 31, refused to speak to our dad for a whole year, and I couldn't look him in the eye ever since. Now, I don't know if our mom knew or if she just didn't care, but I remember her being very desperate to keep her husband. Perhaps it was because he was the breadwinner and made quite a lot. Who knows? But eventually, after many therapy sessions and counseling, they stayed together. By the way, this comes from user PatientWin8831. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. But that didn't mean his other family was brick-walled as you'd think would be appropriate. In fact, my dad stopped going out with the other woman, but they remained friends, and my mom and her had some sort of sister wives vibes going on. It was just weird. On every holiday, there'd be this woman who knowingly and willingly almost destroyed another family. Yes, she was aware our dad was married and didn't care. And this baby who me and my brother, were meant to treat like a sibling. We haven't felt like a family since. My brother refused to participate in holidays like Christmas or Easter for a few years. Then came around when Allie, my stepsister's fake name, was 4 years old and decided he'd be a brother to her. It was a very sudden switch, though he still doesn't speak to our father or Allie's mom. Maybe I'm jaded, but I never saw Allie's mom as anything but a homewrecker and a terrible person, and Allie as a result of that. I don't know if jaded's the right word for that.
Yeah.
I think you're probably traumatized. I think you need to like really
Probably. And how old is the brother when he how old was he when he like came into the family? Or
I don't think we had the number. It's
okay.
He's now 31, so
okay. To like try and be a brother to like a
probably late
young,
teens,
like
maybe early 20s,
right.
somewhere in there. I know my dad is to blame as well, but back then it was easier to be angry at them than at my dad.
I feel like your dad is the most to blame.
You're also 14, you're a child, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I never saw Allie as a sister and made it clear. That resulted in some familial tension that continues to this day. It would be really hard to list everything that happened here, so I won't, and I'll get to the main issue at hand. Allie recently decided to change schools because of some issues I'm not interested in. For clarification, my country's high schools can have specific specializations like art, confectionery, hairdressing, and so on and so forth. These are just the first ones I could think of, but I'm just not sure how common it is. Allie used to study in grammar school, high school that has no specific field, but is usually a stepping stone between high school and college. But apparently grammar school was too demanding, and she decided to drop out and pursue art school. She's not an extraordinary artist for her age, but good enough to get accepted into a pretty good art school that happens to be near me. Allie and her mom live close to my parents, and my parents live a solid 3 hours away from me. So getting to and from school would be difficult for her, but not impossible. 2 days ago, we had a family dinner. Yes, Allie and her mom were invited, much to my dismay, where the issue was brought up. They talked around the topic, maybe expecting me to pipe up and open my doors for her, but I didn't. So they eventually asked flat out if I could let Allie live with me for the school year.
That's a big ask.
And it feels like they should know that you're already like not like this.
You've never wanted a relationship with Allie, which is your own thing that you're dealing with. And
Yeah.
regardless of whether or not Allie's obviously not in fault because she's a child.
Yeah, regardless of where that comes from, this is not going to be a situation that's helpful to anybody
No,
given
like,
the current
Oh
circumstances.
my goodness, this 16-year-old is gonna live with a person who hates her?
Yeah,
No, we shouldn't
kinda
do
rough.
that.
Maybe the parents don't know how bad it is, you know? Maybe
Yeah,
this
maybe
has just
he's
been
kind of
pent
kept
up
it-
and held inside the whole
kept it
time.
in.
14-year-olds are really good at
Yeah.
doing that.
And so maybe OP just says, "No, I hate her."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "No," and they go, "Why? I hate her."
So she'd be there from Monday to Friday and be at home for any holidays and such. I also work in art and am an illustrator, so they think it would be beneficial for Allie to spend time around real artists, which is hilarious because they previously called my profession useless. Here are my reasons for declining. There is an option of dorms just outside of campus. The living conditions are good. Not 5-star hotel, but good nonetheless. I don't like Allie and have made that clear. We have absolutely no relationship. Aside from her being blood related, there's nothing about her that would convince me to take her in. My brother lives closer to the art school, like an hour away. It's not right around the corner, but doable. Plus, he actually likes Allie. When I needed help and came to Allie's mom as a Hail Mary, she laughed me out the door and said that we're not family. So for her to insist we are, in fact, a family now is both irritating and funny. I have a pretty modest apartment. Yes, I have 2 rooms, but I'm renting out the other one for my best friend. They didn't ask me nicely. They demanded, and when I showed hesitation, they immediately descended upon me like a pack of vultures. Apparently, Allie doesn't want to live with a stranger in a dorm, something about anxiety, which, while I can sympathize, I also lived in dorms with 2 strangers that didn't even like me. She's my sister despite it all, and God wanted us to be a family. No, because I'm atheist. My brother's girlfriend is currently pregnant with a baby soon due, and he doesn't want to bring Allie into all of that. Plus, his girlfriend is nervous around strangers, which is the last thing she needs. I should displace my roommate in favor of family, and it should be a no-brainer to let my sister live with me. Again, she's not my sister. OP does not see her as
OP's never seen her
her
as a
sister. I don't know her, and I never put in the effort to get to know her, nor do I want to. I don't want to know if I'm the a-hole for that. I guess I am, because it's not her fault. She came to the world like this. Anyway, I wanted to think about it for a bit and then turn them down to at least pretend to seriously consider it. But with how the evening devolved from calm and peaceful to yelling and demanding in a matter of seconds, I said no immediately and remained firm on my stance. Everything calmed down when Allie ran out of the house, back to her house, I assume. Then I was asked to leave, which I was already doing, and was told we'll discuss the matter when I'm ready to act like an adult, in which case I better sign up for kindergarten before they're all full. I made this all very clear, and when Allie's mom messaged me to discuss the topic, I left her on red, and when my dad called me, I didn't pick up, which is fair, because you've already made it very clear you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I won't put up with them yelling and demanding as if that would change my mind. Am I the a-hole? Not about...
Yeah, not about this.
Only about the thing that you admitted you were the a-hole about. Not,
I think you
not
already
this
recognize
given
it.
situation.
I think you recognize that you have a lot of animosity and feelings that should be directed at your dad that you've redirected at this girl. Which makes sense. I think a lot of people do that.
Of course,
but
but you were also 14,
you were 14
when this happened.
Obviously,
you
that's
were
gonna happen.
traumatized.
Yeah.
It's not Allie's fault.
Yeah, which is something I think therapy could help, working through those feelings. But at the end of the day, your question is, am I the a-hole for not letting her move into my house? And you are not the a-hole
No, you're
at
not.
all.
You're not.
0%.
It does kind of, it's, it just sucks. So am I the a-hole?
Let's finish this off.
No, but I will tell you something that is a yes. And that's, can I listen to full episodes with stories just like this? Yeah. On Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio and wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search the name of our show, Okay Storytime. And I dare you to listen to them all.
let's finish this story. Super quick update. The thing I feared the most happened. Currently, Allie is in my room after appearing out of nowhere in front of my apartment with my friend, letting her in after she started having a mental breakdown in the hall. You are now living a Hallmark movie. I think it's now you have to lean into like, I'm going to write a script out of this and sell it for $1 bajillion and it's going to win an Oscar.
Oh, man. They can't just leave a 16-year-old. She's a minor.
I really, really didn't think this would happen. I mean, I thought about it, but more so in the humorous, like, what if kind of way. I think my father and Allie's mom divorced themselves from reality if they thought I would let this slide. I'll update later. And there's comments here. Comment number 1, not the a-hole. Disregarding everything else for a second, Allie's only 16. She's going to be 3 hours away from home and will potentially want to experiment with that freedom because teenager. But also because teenager, you will automatically be expected to act as the default parent substitute, ensuring she eats properly, keeps up with her studies, monitoring who her friends are, waiting up at night when she's out doing who knows what.
That's what I said. I was right.
Meanwhile, because you are not her parent, she will laugh in your face if you try to assert any authority over her, which why would you? And you'll get the blame if she messes up. No. It's far too big of a responsibility, even if you wouldn't have to make big changes to your own life to accommodate the request. OP replies, once Allie left, Dad and his ex-side chick told me they've already told her she'll have to act super nice and respectful for me to agree to take her in. So I guess me saying no was a bit of a blow. She was apparently even saving up money so she can help with the bills, although I must say my dad likes to fluff up his statements so they sound better. So maybe he was lying. I don't know. Still, pretty effed up of them to act like I'll agree to this, to taking care of this kid. Comment 2, would you consider going low to no contact, even just for a few months, until the school year starts? I wouldn't be surprised if they just showed up and dumped Allie at your front door. I'd get a door camera and change the locks if they have any sets of keys, not the a-hole. OP says, they don't have the keys, luckily, and I'll have to ask my landlord about door cameras. Thank you for the suggestion. I didn't even think about them breaking in. Comment 3 says, I would have said no from the get-go, and these family dinners with both partners give me the creeps. OP says, oh my God, you have no idea. Allie and Allie's mom aren't invited over every time, but when they are, we, meaning me and my brother, get either no warning or a warning 5 minutes before we get there. Maybe they're forgetful, but I also wouldn't put it above them to do this intentionally. They know I hate Allie's mom and feel very ambivalent about Allie herself, so I wouldn't attend if I knew beforehand. My parents' house has 2 extra bedrooms, and Allie and Allie's mom sometimes sleep there. It's so effing weird. They don't sleep there often, if my parents are to be believed, and it's so shocking. My mom went from a proud, headstrong woman to being a borderline side chick in plain sight under her own roof.
Oh,
I don't even.
Ouch.
It's kind of cathartic to let all this out. Only my friend who I live with sees my point. Others excuse it or outright call me the a-hole. Not to mention how fine my brother seems with everything. One Sunday, I walked in and saw Allie's mom in a towel and brushing her teeth, and I just left. Yeah, I think you need help working through this, honestly.
And also, they clearly don't have any boundaries. The problem is that none of this is Allie's fault, but none of the other adults in your life have learned anything from this whole scenario.
Yeah.
They still all suck. And like, Allie's a child. It's not her fault. You had to deal with this at 14. Not your fault. But you're still dealing with that like anger and frustration from, your dad and your dad's affair partner and your mom. And it's all going on Allie.
Yeah, and like others, it's like it sounds like a little bit on your brother too. And like, why isn't my brother more upset? And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to be,
Yeah. That's the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow.